Hey, TJ. Good morning. What you doing? How's everybody doing? Good, I hope. Hang on a minute. I gotta put cover up the. There we go. Okay. Sunshine. Hey, Mr. Skyshine Fly. How you doing? Yep, TJ, you were first. I thought you had. Didn't you have to work today, or was I mistaken? I could have sworn you had work today. Then again, what do I know? All goes in at 3. Okay, TJ, gotcha. I don't know if Justin's going to join us today or not. I hope he's doing well as can be expected, right? Day after surgery. What do you want, Mia? So you're a coffee drinker, TJ. Okay, I get it. Eat your breakfast. Go ahead. Sorry about that. Mia was bugging me. Well, it's sunny today, but it's cold again, and the wind is bitterly cold coming off the lake. I know I've got some running around I've got to do this morning at some point in time. I got to go to the bank and some other things. Um, Mark, what's going on with you? The there's a couple of ships downbound, but they're way up the tip of the thumb. Let me reset that, see if I get a better look at where they're at. Nah, it doesn't. The marine traffic isn't the best. It's supposed to tell you where the ships are and where they're going. But I think it's because they're sending out their location via satellite. I think that there's a glitch someplace in the system, because when they're out in the lake quite a ways, I get a mirrored image of them, and it just isn't good. Mr. Sky flies back to work tomorrow, so you got the day off today. Okay, good for you. Problem is when you retire, you got every day off, and every day melts into the next day. It just doesn't seem to end. Take a look at my calendar here. So yeah, it's what I like to do is I have this hanging on the wall in front of me. And since it's leap year, what I do is it starts here for March, but I go 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, just so that I'm kind of on the same page when I'm looking at a month's out. Otherwise, if I'm looking at the old calendar, which I have all the days crossed off, it doesn't really tell you where you're at as far as anything going on in the future. I can cross off Sunday on this. Okay. Today is February 26th. And of course, February is a leap year this year. So the 29th of February is on Thursday. Oh, you're watching Uncle Bill, Mark. Okay, gotcha. Here comes David Birdman.
Where's all the crazy people at?
Do not know. Here comes Welsh Rob. Hey, Rob, how you doing?
What's up, guys?
Well, now I know where the crazy people are at.
You all mate?
Just before you came in, I went, "Where's all the crazy people at?" And then Paul said, "Here comes Welsh Rob."
Exactly.
So what's going on with you today, Rob?
Yeah, just got a lot going on.
David's recuperating from a day of working around the house.
Oh, started again.
You got more to do?
Oh, yes. I'm filling the living room up with bird perches. So they got perches in different corners and stuff.
Yep.
Hey, Mark, TJ, Mr. Fly Sky.
Oh, Mark, you get your
Everybody.
pension, you get your pension paid on the first of the month, I take it. I get my Social Security on the 4th Wednesday of every month. So I just got paid last week. And
And I bet it's all gone, is it?
what's that?
And I bet it's all gone.
Well, it goes fast, especially right now. I've gotten myself into a dilemma. I owe back taxes on the property, which is almost $3,000, and I've got to pay it by the end of the month or it gets turned over for collections. So,
So why did you go out and buy another A2S then?
well, because that's the only thing I like to do.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't being funny. I was just. Well, what happened to that Mini 3 Russell gave you?
I have it here, and it's a great little flyer. It's a great for everybody,
Paul,
but I'm used to the Air 2S.
right. But if you're that short of cash, start gathering crap up and get it sold on Facebook or wherever. Make some cash, right? And also, go to YouTube and turn on monetization. You might as well.
Yeah, but then that puts you in a different tax bracket because see, with
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
Social
true.
Security, I don't pay any taxes, federal taxes.
Yeah,
Interest.
true.
And so
But you can
if
sell
you,
stuff on Facebook though.
you
You might have to wear
monetize,
that.
if you monetize, you have to pay taxes on it.
But without being funny, David, you can't really accept the gift and then sell it, can you?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'm not talking about the drone.
Oh,
He's got all the gadgets and everything, hasn't he? He's stacked up in his garage and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look. Well, when it gets a little warmer weather, maybe I'll have a big yard sale or something. I don't know.
You just need
With-
to have a little clear out, see what you've got left. And then hopefully get yourself out of this little rut bit and
Yep. Oh yeah, I'll survive one way or the other.
oh yeah, of course you will.
it'd be like that. We're live on Paul and Paul's being carried out on a chair. We're taking the chair. Paul, I'm doing me live.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you going to do? Send that back to Russell? If you're not using it or what?
It's just sitting here. I don't know whether he wants it. But see, the problem is you go to send anything, it's then you got shipping and everything, and then you got to box it up, and you got to. I fly it periodically, Rob, but not all.
Well, if you fly it, fair enough. But if
Oh
not,
no, it's not just sitting.
It's a
oh,
day drone rather than a night
fair
drone.
enough. But what my thing was, like, it was what is it, £1,000 drone?
What's
Eight-
that?
It's what is it, an £900 drone?
Yep, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yep.
So if you wasn't using it, obviously it was nice for him to give it. So if you wasn't using it, give it back, and somebody else, can.
I've not seen Russell for ages.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a month.
I hope he's all right.
He might. I hope that he's not pissed because I bought an Air 2S. And the reason I bought it, Rob, was I bought a brand new replacement one with no batteries, none of the things, and I got it really cheap. I think I paid $500 for it or $450 for it because I already had all the batteries. I already had the smart
Case, the
controller for it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's the only good thing, but yeah, that is a good thing if something happens to one of your drones you've already got.
Yeah, I got a backup and I can fly it and it works okay. I just can't fly in any. It's like yesterday, the video I did yesterday, Rob. was gusting to 48 miles an hour and a steady breeze of 34 miles an hour. And I did that ship, and it's like the Air 2S just is second to none as far as high
Yeah.
winds. You know that.
Disability on Tuesday. I think my disability was last week.
Looks nice out, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
For
You
the
know what that,
wind.
you know what that reminds me of?
Well,
Over the hills and far away. The Teletubbies
Yeah.
are out to play.
no, that's a place called Tumballen. At the top there.
What's that mountain back there? Is that just a big hill?
No, it's a place called Tumballen.
Okay.
It got a significant thing.
Are they genuine names, Rob, or have you made that a video just going up the side there?
You are sorry?
These subscribers that keep popping up, are they genuine, or you just made a video that keeps popping up?
No, no. They'll stop soon. They
Yeah.
got to.
Laura said it's a little video, don't listen to him.
How's Laura doing?
I don't know.
Is she getting ready for the nieces and nephews? What?
No, I made a wise investment yesterday. She was doing my bloody head in, so I gave in and let her buy this House Flipper 2. I haven't seen her since.
Oh,
Now, like I said, that was a wise investment. I get peace.
so when do the kids come again, David?
You don't. I mean,
Huh?
I don't know. I'm not sure who's the next one to come. I think it's Amber.
Amber will be there probably in a couple of days?
No, I think it's Hannah this weekend.
Oh, the weekend. Hannah the weekend. All right.
Well, Amber's the weekend after. Oh God.
Hannah is the outspoken one, right?
Hannah's the fun one.
Yep.
She likes to teach Welsh Rob a lesson.
She would like to teach Rob a lesson.
Yeah. And Rebecca's the one with bad taste because she likes Dominic and Justin. And she keeps talking American. And Amber's the quiet one.
Real quiet. Okay.
And Matthew's just a little whiny one. He goes, no, stop doing that.
I know that Justin is home now. And
Oh, he's
so
home,
Is he?
what I'm thinking is he probably slept in today, and probably
Hopefully.
the day after he might be moving a little bit gingerly.
Is he all right?
I think so. He was on Uncle Bill's last night. And
It looks like Welsh Rob's dyed his hair to Laura's colour.
No, definitely not.
Why have you gone blonde?
I haven't gone blonde. It's gone grey.
called Gray.
No, don't. No, look. What Paul has is grey. What you have is blonde. Look.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
It's grey.
It looks blonde. Look,
Well,
look at Paul's.
He's
'cause
got
it's all-
Paul's is.
he's got his camera tuned just right.
It's because I'm fair haired as well.
Fair haired. Okay.
No, he's gone blonde. He was naturally blonde, I reckon, and he just dyed.
I don't think
dyed
Rob's the
everything
type of
ginger.
person to go out and dye his hair.
You know how he keeps deleting stuff and doing crazy things? It's because he was naturally blonde. He's just dyed everything ginger.
Be right back. Mia
Yeah.
wants to go out.
Why? Because he's Welsh. That's why. Shut up, Laura.
Hey, Lance.
Hey, Lance.
Hey, good morning, guys. You can mute me if you want to. If I'm doing a hyperlapse here.
I don't need to mute you.
No. You crack on.
25 mile an hour winds, 35 mile an hour gusts. I'm at 125 feet, so keeping a close eye on the drone.
And
Kind
it's
of
gone.
breezy. Kind of breezy today, but dry.
It'll be interesting to look at the time lapse once you've done it.
Hey, Lance, did you see Captain Joe? It's coming on, but he's got a thing for you.
No, I don't know. No,
Who's got what?
You got
a printer.
that.
He's packing up his printer and sending it to me.
Yeah.
Talking about printers, I got a nice email this morning. My printer will be with me tomorrow.
All right.
Oh, well done.
Hey, Joe, show Lance what you made on the printer.
So that is your bracket, right?
That is my bracket, correct?
And you want that thing to look that way, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so if you looking at the bracket like that, that's the one that goes on like this.
You're
Hold
not
it up
in front of
higher.
the, you're not in front
Hold
of
it
the
up
camera.
higher.
Yeah, lift your can. There
It
you go.
goes on like that, right? So now that's
Yeah.
hooked on. Now what you want it to do is look like that.
So I don't
Yeah,
want
'cause
that
you-
piece that you have in the middle, but I want it to
Yeah, this
fit.
is a. Yeah, what I did is I made this.
Okay.
I made the bracket that fits on it, but then it turns the other way.
Right. And see that bracket you have in your hand? I
Yeah.
want to take that out of the equation if I can.
Well, that's the hard part.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because hold up the other piece. Hold up the actual. Yeah. You know,
One last thing before I go to the bathroom, Dad.
you know, the more I think about it,
Hold
you
on one
almost gotta-
second. Hold on one second.
Laura, Amazon 7 stops away.
That would work for sure, but if I could take that out of the equation, which, like you said, is the hard part. What we could do is the actual bracket that brackets to the top of the Avada, turn that piece, the GoPro mount piece.
Well, you probably could do that just by cutting the piece where it mounts to that and just spinning it and gluing it back together, right?
Hang on.
In other words, like, you know, the mount that goes on there, if you were to take and do a circular cut around it,
Hang
and
on.
then turn around and then put it back together so that the mount is perfect, and then glue it, it would be in the direction you want it, right?
It would. I don't know how sturdy it would be. I don't know how good a cut you could make. The piece that I bought off Amazon that clips on the actual Avada, I wish they would sell it, like I said, with the mount the other way, but I can't seem to find one.
Yeah, you want to take that 1-inch lift off of it.
I do.
You want it like this.
Exactly. I want that to mount to my Avada, right to the top of the piece.
Now let me tell you what the problem I found with this, because I could make this for you. I made this just to see what it would look like, where it's that way for you. Now that's not going anywhere. I mean, but getting the Insta 360 in here, you have no play. I don't know if it would snap in.
Yeah, that was his question, whether the Insta 360 would snap in there.
This one has play.
Yes, exactly. And you would need some flex because it fits tight. So if there's no play, I'm not gonna be able to jam it in there.
Not gonna play, yeah.
There's got to be.
Well, the only other option I might be able to do with this one is cut it right here, make a cut here, and mount something up here that gives you play, but you'd have to put something in there to hold it.
Yeah,
or even on the side.
or on the side where you could put a mount. you know, put another mount, you know, so right where your hand is, you're holding, there's a mount there.
Right.
Put another mount on the side and then cut it there.
Yeah, it'd be like
So
a
right where your
slice.
finger is.
It'd be like this side would be better because this side's got a hole.
Yes,
So it's probably for a
exactly.
So you
button.
see where that hole is?
So- Yeah, put a slice here,
Yep.
and then put that other bracket that was on this side could be here, and you could just put a little thing in between.
Well,
That would work.
or what you could do,
Well-
Lance, is if you slice the side of it, if you put Velcro, double stick Velcro on that side. And
I wouldn't trust Velcro.
Right.
Joe, have you made that out of TPU or PLA?
PLA.
Joe, can you hold that up again? Because he wants it
Which
to go
one?
sideways on the drone, yeah?
He wants it to do that.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
he wants.
So
You
the
see the
camera
two-
is by his
Right.
hand.
Right, your two sides.
Right.
This is simple.
This side right here, if I slid it and put
No.
put this like
Stop.
that. Where's it at? That piece right there on the side, then he could put something in between it to hold it together.
Right. Two of them. You see what
Yeah.
you got in the middle? You make
Yeah.
it so it's a solid piece all the way around. Take that clip
Right.
out the middle. Completely remove it. On the sides, you make two clips, just little triangles, and they sit, and that sits onto the drone. So it's held on both sides.
That's not gonna
I'll
fit.
do it. I'll do it.
He's
show you
got
what I
he's
mean.
got to have this. He's got to have this to fit on Avada the way he's going to do it.
Let me have a look.
See, this
Yeah, I
would,
have
this
to have
would
that-
work, but
David,
then
I
you
have
got
to have
that
that
in the
bottom piece.
equation.
Go ahead, Lance.
Yeah, David, I have to have that bottom piece that Joe was talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah. See, I designed this one out of two pieces. That way it would go both ways.
Mhm.
But he said he wants to take that out the equation.
Yeah, any more height is going to be an issue. I don't want any height added to that frame
Yeah.
if I can help
That
it.
would add another inch and a half.
Yeah. It's liable to catch on things then.
And then it's a weak
Yeah.
point as well, you know, because the Avada is going to shake. That, you know, camera's then going to eventually loosen and, you know, flop.
Joe, I honestly would have made that camera mount out of TPU. I would have.
Well, I did a 80% fill on it, so it's going to be hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I can't move these things.
No, I was on about the actual, mount around the camera.
Yeah,
Oh, he's talking about the whole mount.
the whole mount. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
So Joe's working on it, Lance.
All right. What a dude.
Hey,
He doesn't
Bill.
have to pack his printer up then. That's good.
Oh my God! Congratulations, Bill. He's had the CBC News message him.
Oh, wow.
So I want to use his footage.
I don't see the chat, so I'm on my phone.
Have anybody seen what Bill
Yeah.
done?
That's Atlantic Adventures, Bill.
Have anybody seen what he done?
No, but he said CBC News messaged me this
Put a-
morning.
put a
Want to
link in
use
there.
my footage.
Cool.
Put a link in, Bill.
Yeah, good for you. It's good to know that somebody noticed your video.
Oh, he's done an incredible job.
Hyperlapse is ready to complete.
Oh my God.
Right, I'll show you what I was thinking, Joe. And Lance. So something like this, you've got a frame that goes across the bottom and it grips into the sides. So it just holds it like that.
And then there's a mount on the bottom of that piece.
Yeah,
the
you would
bottom-
mount it to the bottom of that.
So
So
you
you'd
would
have to have
put
a mount on the bottom.
a GoPro. That if it was sturdy enough, could work.
Yeah, that might work. Yeah, that
Right.
might work.
But anyway, let's go to a different subject. What would you probably like on your toast this morning? Beans? Cheese?
Not Vegemite.
No Vegemite? No Marmite? Peanut butter? Jelly or jam? Marmalade? All these things? Or would you like cockatiel?
Well, the cockatiel's got to have breakfast too.
Literally, I picked up my toast and she just flew straight in and landed on it, started eating it. I was like, you little shit.
She's hungry.
Oh, she
Now-
has a thing for toast.
She likes toast, huh?
Successfully.
I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I got up and I said, let me make sure I got everything set before about 10 o'clock. So I have everything ready to go for today. Because I don't want to forget something when you're rushing, you know. And I should have had everything ready yesterday. You know, I goofed around last night about 11 o'clock and realized I didn't charge the batteries for the strobes. You know, so these big things. So I charged those last night and this morning. Probably had enough because I had like a half a battery and they don't take up. I mean, I usually shoot all the football, basketball, volleyball before I even charge them again. It's how long they last.
Morning, Corey.
Hey, morning, everybody in the chat. I'm doing about 6 things at once right now. And I'm mad at Justin
Why is that?
because of his kidney stone crap. I've been having pain in the back, right back here.
Oh,
And I don't know if it's a pull muscle or I have something going on back there, but it goes away and then it comes back. Goes away and comes back.
wow.
Don't be mad at Justin because you've got sympathy veins for him.
Sympathy pains.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Let me get face to face. I'll give him some sympathy pain. So when I put out a video, I average between, in the first 24 hours, I average between about 20 and 27, maybe 30 sometimes views. This last week, I put out a couple of videos that in the first 24 hours got 50 something views. So it picked up a little bit. I put out the parade video, the dog parade video, and in the first 24 hours, it got 368 views.
Good enough for you. It only takes that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as well, what I really liked about yours is it's yeah, with it being funny, it's not just drone footage. There's ground cameras, there's photographs, there's you know, drone footage on YouTube, I think, is dead because every single place in the world has already been filmed by a drone. People are going to spend weeks editing, a 3-minute video when they'll struggle to get 200 views on it.
Well, especially when
Oh, yeah.
it's scenery. The only reason that aerial video from drones is in my particular case, if I catch a ship that they haven't seen before, or the weather's been whatever. But if you're just doing just videography, no.
It's dead, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
that was why my Welsh rabbi changed, because all you end up doing is you just reach that little circle of your friends, and it stops there. That was why I went to the trucking side, which is a different thing. Like Paul does his boats, which is you get more views than what no offense, and like Matt, look at the effort and thing Matt puts into his videos. But
Well, look at the effort that Chuck puts in.
Another thing,
That's the thing that gets me, the amount of work he does and how he's not getting anything.
But then I'm surprised, see, with Chuck, because he's not just doing drone footage. He's doing a different what's it called? Genre, whatever.
Now, the ironic part about it, I guess, I really think it's because I've been doing this so long with photography and editing. When I started doing the edit, I never did a lot of video editing, because I never shoot a lot of video. I did for weddings years back, way back. But when I started doing the drone videos, I struggled the first couple of edits. And then I said, you know what, let me just, I know how to edit film. Let me set this thing up like I do for my photography. So I put I've got like 3 formats out there, and I have all my templates built into the formats. So all I got to do is pull a format up, and it's the same one. I don't even change it. I just have 3 copies of it in case something happens. I accidentally delete one. So what I do is I just pull it up, and all it has on there is my intro and my outro and the initial title slide. That's all I have on there. So I pull that in there, and the 3 slides that tell you the title at the end, and then how I edited it, and then how I what music. I have that set up. So it's about 6 things. There's 1, 2, 3, about 6 things that are on everything that stays in a template. And I've got it now down to a science and I've got the presets done now with the color LUTs. I've made them the way I want them to look.
Hey, Frank.
And then I go through it. And if I do like a 1-shot 3-minute video with a Nevada, I can finish this video and have it rendered within 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Hello, Donald.
The only thing I noticed with, good morning, Donald.
Looking
The
good.
only thing I
Hello,
noticed
Donald.
with your video from the one I just commented on, your pictures were not full frame.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Because
I wasn't shooting for the video. I was shooting for the paper. Then I said, "Damn, I should have did full frame on all of them and worried about it later."
Yeah, it went from full frame video to
vertical
pictures.
Yeah.
It done that. It just
I tried to put as many of the full frames in there that I could, but there were some of those verticals, like that little dog looking up, the little brown dog looking up.
Some of them wouldn't. Yeah, well, awesome.
Yeah, I had to put him there.
I actually played it on Paul's last night, didn't I, Paul?
Yep. Yeah, he did.
I played it on you as well.
Copyright.
Yeah, it was that's good. 328 views in the first day. That's what it got.
Informative, David. We were talking over the top of it.
That's okay. Well, don't matter to me.
Hello, Donald.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. And mixing formats within your video isn't bad. What was the movie? There was a movie came out just last year, year before, I can't remember the name of the movie, but would play with the aspect ratio, and they would go
Yeah.
part of the movie would be 4:3, part of the movie would be 16:9, and depending on
Yeah.
what they wanted to.
Laura, Amazon, one
Convey.
stop away.
And I really enjoy
Oh.
the 4:3 aspect.
David is waiting by the door because his printer's on the way, and it's one stop
No,
away.
printers tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm waiting at the door because I can't carry on with my projects until Amazon have been.
Oh, Amazon's bringing you parts for your hallway.
No, the hallway's done. I'm now in the living room.
Oh,
I built a whole new wall in the living room because we have one of them windows that go from the top down to the floor. And the bottom part of it's just a panel. And it's supposed to be double glazing, but it isn't. It's just flimsy plastic, I reckon. So I've built a whole new wall on it, which will please the council when they come to replace it, because now they're going to have to redesign the windows because my wall is staying.
You are, Donald. You liked it that the things were vertical. Did you in the picture, in the video?
It doesn't bother me when things switch format because every format has its own look, has its own quality, and I don't mind vertical video. You know, Ken Heron made popular everybody's, oh, your eyes are like side by side, not on top of each other, so vertical video sucks. But your actual area of view is more square format. It's actually round, and your brain fills in everywhere else. And so that's why 4:3 format is a very natural feel.
I just found it that his video was, the whole YouTube square. And then, when he went to the pictures, you have the two black.
Pillars. Yeah.
Now, didn't.
Now what
I thought it was
is
the flow. If it was somebody else, perhaps they'd think different
Right.
to me. Everybody's opinion is different.
And what you could do to kind of soften that is go ahead and have your vertical video and put a blurred background in the back behind that.
Yeah.
On a background. Yeah.
Of the same shot.
Yeah, you do the same shot, but then you blur it out and white it out a little bit. You lighten it up a little bit so that it
maybe the
stands out a
same
little.
shot. That's been done so often though that I know that's what happens a lot when you try. What is it? What app is that does that? Adds that blurred shot in the background.
Pro Show does that.
But yeah, okay. There's a couple of them that do that and automatically throws that back there. But and that works. You're kind of wasting. If you're going to put something back there instead of just having black and just letting the vertical video live on its own, if you're going to put something in the background moving, why not use it to actually say something else instead that supports the video instead of just duplicating it and blurring it? I don't know.
Just don't take anything I say.
I guess it's all a matter of taste. Everything is just a matter of taste.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I would have rather had all horizontal shots, full frame. And then I went through there and I was thinking, I don't want to put these on there. But then I looked at the pictures and said, you know what? It's for YouTube. It's not for on a big screen or anything. So no big deal. I would just let it go. And the dog lovers are going to love it anyway. They're going to see it. Like I said, 328 the first day.
Another fun way that you could use, I'm just here editing in my mind. I haven't watched your video, I'm sorry, Joe. But just editing in my brain, if you're going to use vertical video in a horizontal format.
Shame on you.
Go back. I know, I'm a horrible person. I admit that. I'm not a good person.
All right.
But go back to the, you guys ever see the original Thomas Crown Affair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to, I loved the use of frames in that movie, how he would show basically multiple sections of the scene by putting the smaller squares, sliding them, And in the big frame of the big whole thing, you would have multiple things going on to show the wider picture. And so you could use the vertical video, go ahead and take 3 clips of that vertical video, pop one up, pop another one off, up, pull that one off, put another one up over here, and go ahead and play with putting multiple vertical slices in your horizontal frame. That might be interesting.
Yeah, that good point. Even if
Yep,
you have
and
the
I've
middle
done that
one and
with,
put them around it.
Right.
Three vertical videos, and that I've done that as well, like Don was saying.
Yeah. A triptych.
Works.
But since you're moving them to different parts of that horizontal screen, you're using the entire horizontal screen. But even if you want to bring them all up and fade the saturation on 2 of them to bring focus to the one you want to focus on, but bring the saturation down on the other 2, and then drop that saturation down, bring the saturation up on the other one to shift focus. So you're actually using
Yeah.
the entire frame and guiding the viewer. That'd be an interesting technique.
See, I'm glad you're on. I'm glad both of y'all on now. I'm learning something.
I always
That might be a
like
future.
photos.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a future thing I might do.
Or do the same
All I
thing and
know
do
is
one
that-
red, one blue, and one natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all
Yeah, I'm
kinds of
getting
things.
comments like fabulous, and all of this, or it's a good. And the Mandy Milkshakers love the fact, thank you, Joe. It was awesome and all of this and all of everybody is because North Shore Humane, the Milkshakers, which were the highlight of the parade, and then the people that ran the parade, they threw it out on their sites, and they love it, So that's. I
Yeah.
just wanted to get it out there just to get something different.
Yeah. I mean,
Get a whole
that's,
new crowd now. They'll come to me.
yeah. And you're getting a
But-
response. So you did something right.
Yeah.
And
Like I said, I can't stand having the blank spots on the side. I don't like that, but I had to live with it. And then, like I said, if I thought about it, I'd have put 2 or 3 on the same.
Mhm.
If you'd have put 2 in, it would look better.
Mhm. Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
Yeah. And there's nothing saying you have to fill the screen,
Yeah.
but even if you only had one video and you started that vertical video, I mean, I think to the point of Rob saying it looks kind of jarring is that he knew that you were just switching to a different format
Yeah.
in there. But if you're using the entire frame, so even if you had the one video, you put it here, slid it across, that would be another way to use a frame. There's a lot of ways to use your canvas, if you will.
Because that's what Pro Show did. They showed the other one in the background, and the other one in the background would move one way, and the other one would move the other way. Or I'd have what I used to like is getting it to where it would zoom into you. It zoomed towards you while the other one was moving a little bit. So you had that double movement.
Mhm.
And the problem with Pro Show, it only works on that old laptop now over there. And they discontinued, so you can't even do it anymore. And they said you can have all our files, and they let you download all their files, right? All their programs, every one they had. And as soon as they shut it down, the programs won't work.
Joe, have you looked at CapCut?
No, I have not.
CapCut, a lot of TikTokers use it, but I looked at it and I've used it. I actually used it on one professional edit. I probably wouldn't do it again as a on a professional edit, but I just wanted to see how it worked. I like to experiment with different editors, and it has a lot of features that you would not expect for a free program, and it's got pretty robust editing screen. It's got, if you like going for preset effects, got a lot of preset text effects and stuff. So what are you editing on now?
The titles. I'm on Wondershare Filmora.
Okay. Oh, Filmora. Okay.
Yeah, I got Filmora because I started with Premiere. I did the rush side of it to learn. And I didn't want to go to Pro because I didn't figure I wanted to pay another $39 a month.
Right.
So then I used DaVinci, and I had to learn DaVinci myself real quick. So I went through DaVinci and learned it, and I understood it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop using Rush, and I'm gonna use DaVinci till I learn it. So then I figured it out and got it all right. And then Filmora I had looked at, and then I looked at it and I said, you know what? It's just like DaVinci, but easier.
Hmm.
It's got a different desktop type of feature.
Right.
And if you want all the histograms, you could click it on and put everything there. It looks like DaVinci, the paid version.
Hmm.
I mean, so it was like, I think it cost me $79 lifetime one time, and they still upgrade it, so upgrade doesn't cost me
Great.
anything.
If it works for you and you
Yeah.
like it, then
And
you
I've been
stick with
using
what you
that now
like.
for about a year, and I love it.
That's what I always tell people is that editors are all the same. It's just what you get used to.
It's a comfort thing.
I love the Adobe suite, and I've gotten into DaVinci, and I really enjoy the cut page on DaVinci. The edit page is, I don't like it as much as Premiere, but that's just because of what I'm used to. But when
Yeah.
it comes in, when you get into the doing like effects in the Fusion tab on DaVinci, I'm used to going into After Effects, and After Effects and DaVinci approach things in a fundamentally different way. Where After
Right.
Effects, you're stacking layers. DaVinci, you're working with nodes, and it's a different way of thinking. And I just cannot wrap my head around doing complex stuff in DaVinci. But I haven't used it enough to get past that learning curve because I don't have to. I've got the Adobe suite.
Yeah, I pay enough with the Lightroom and the Photoshop. I don't want to pay any more. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I've got to sit down and figure this out. I'm gonna do it this week. I might ask my son when he comes here today because I know that's what he does. But I've got Spectrum, cost me $259 a month for my television and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go straight to just straight internet and streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But I want my local channels. I want my 3 local affiliates. I want to be able to watch, and they're saying, well, if you're on Hulu shows that, the local channels.
Mm-hmm.
So and I got Hulu on the thing, and I've got a free Hulu, but it's a different paid service. So it might cost me $20 a month. But if I'm paying 70 and 20, 90, less than 250,
Yep. Yeah, I went. I went to just after I lost my job, I didn't get my free cable anymore. After I was let go from the cable company, I used to get free cable. I went ahead and dropped that, and I just went straight data.
Yeah,
and my wife and I have not watched TV. I've stopped watching TV pretty much. We get a streaming service for, if we see something that we want to watch, we'll get a streaming service for a month and we'll watch some, and then we're done with it. And I haven't missed it.
I'd actually be happy if I could drop them down to $100 and just have the basic channels with like CNN, Fox News, and all of that. And maybe I don't even care about the ESPN because I could stream ESPN on my smart TV, so I could watch the sports if I need to on that.
Yeah, we dropped down to $100 for the high-speed internet.
Yeah, and if I go AT&T fiber, now the other thing is if I go AT&T fiber and they come in basically the same thing I have right now, I get a $250 gift card and it's $140 a month. So I'm saving $110 a month, and it's basically the same. But do I want to? Is it going to be that different just to go straight internet and streaming? It might still be $100. So for 40 more, I don't have to deal with everything else. Still got the channels, and that's for 2 years. That's the good news. I'll have a 2-year rate. If I can say, if I get $250 back and save $110 a month, that might be enough for me.
Kodi on the Fire Stick. And you have,
Yeah. And I was told get a Roku and you could do everything basically the same.
Yeah, that's my bill just drives me crazy. And I don't at my age, I don't like change. You guys know that. I
Yeah,
think
that's me. I don't want to change. I don't want to go through all that.
I don't want to, but here I'm going to show you my bill for this month.
Yeah, that's too much.
$309.99. So when I see these guys offering free internet by you got something that receives it and then puts it into your system, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, the guy was in here the other day working with the fiber upstairs, and he was telling me, he said, if you hook it up here, I said, well, the way they put the box is behind my sofa. I don't want it there. I want it over here. He said, oh, I can run a wire all the way around the fiber optic, and we put it on the other side if you want it by the TV. And he said, all they don't hook directly to a TV. All they do is work off of Wi-Fi. Now the problem is my back TV doesn't have Wi-Fi, so I'll be down to one TV, which I don't watch the back anyway. Very seldom I watch the back. So it's like either that or pay $10 a month for a box.
What internet speed do you have, Paul?
Xfinity.
Yeah, I would think you've got the fastest internet speed there
Yep.
is with
I'll be
that
right back.
price.
Yep. Well, see, in that bill that I showed you guys, you got to remember I have an apartment upstairs that I give them internet access. I give them cable television, so it's really two households. So then that 300 then becomes the 399 then becomes 200, which is still in my mind is like why is it so high? Oh, it's $309.99, so be $150 per residence. But still, even 150 seems like a steep amount of money. But is what it is.
Yeah, 100's not bad. Considering I look back and it's like I used to pay $20 a month for dial up.
Yeah.
That was back in AOL days.
Yeah. Back in the day.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, AOL day was tough.
Yep, I had Prodigy.
Prodigy, okay. Well, there's so many different, it's just like our cell phones. Everybody's always offering these big deals. They're offering you a brand new phone if you switch, and um, I just don't like change. Yeah, I
Well, about to
understand.
reach,
I
yeah.
understand, Mike. If you go to just internet service, it's a lot less money than all the cable. I don't know. At some point in time, I'll have to bite the bullet and maybe make some kind of change, but the other thing is it's on auto pay, so it just goes, you know?
That's the worst thing in the world, auto pay.
Yeah. Except when you get older and you forget stuff, you know, it's like,
I'm gonna make a phone call today and really get pissed off with somebody in a minute.
oh, really?
State Farm, yeah, my State Farm's getting ready to come out on the cars, and they still have the other car that they've taken back on it. The agent hasn't pulled it off like she said she would. So she'll owe me 2 months. Because I'm gonna get really mad if like $300 comes out of this today.
Amazon are at it again. No, I'm not.
What's that?
No, Amazon are at it again. Apparently, these are brand new. If you ignore the fragile tape and everything else wrapped around it.
Yep, still scheduled. Okay. I'm unmuted so you don't hear me bitch at him.
No, we want to hear you.
I don't know.
That's funny.
Everyone likes
David, how about you go ahead and do the voice for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen here, you son of bitches. I'm tired of this shit.
right,
I'm gonna-
you bastards.
I'm gonna come down there in a minute and
Kick all your asses. Yeah.
put my size 12 right up your ass. What I'm gonna do.
And if you don't sort it out, I'll set David on you from the UK. Oh, at least there's the right number in there.
Okay, so I do have that right. So let me upload those and get those projects approved.
I bought some matte plasterboard wall plugs, or as you call it, drywall wall plugs. Suitable for drywall, plasterboard, brick, metal, and any other object you would like to put them in. Apart from my plasterboard. Bastards.
Hey, David. I have a suggestion of where you can put it.
No.
Where the sun doesn't shine?
You can pack that in.
I mean, it patches holes, right?
No, it's a wall plug.
Oh, a wall plug, like a power.
Yes, you put it in the wall and then you put screws into it to hold things up.
Wait. It's a wall plug. You put it on the wall
Not a
and
butt plug, a wall plug. Where's that freaking paint?
are you talking like an anchor?
What?
A
You know
wall
what a
anchor?
wall plug is?
Well,
Tell me what you do with it. If we talk about a plug in the wall, we're talking about a power outlet.
No, a wall plug.
Okay, saying it again in louder and longer voice does not help
There
explain.
you go.
Okay, that's an anchor. That's an anchor.
Anchor.
No, look, plasterboard wall plug.
Okay,
Learn
you guys,
English.
we fixed it. It's an anchor.
No, an anchor is what you drop off a bolt to keep the bolt still.
Yeah, an anchor is something you put in something to keep something else from moving. So you put an anchor in the wall to keep your shelf from falling out. And a plug is something you put into a hole to cover up the hole. You have to make a hole for that. So it's not really.
Now, stop taking our stuff and changing it. Pack it in.
A wall anchor is what we call them, David.
We call them wall plugs.
Yep.
So anyway, you got some wall plugs that are good for everything except for the wall you have.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Well, it says it's suitable for everything, but when I put it in the wall, I put two of them in. I put the bird perch up, and the bird perch came back down.
Mm.
So what did you get a stud behind it?
They
A wall
have
plug is only good if you're nailing that into a stud.
no,
No, that's a drywall that actually flares out. It goes in thin, and once you start screwing it in, it spreads out and
Yeah,
holds
but
on the backside.
the nail then will go into a stud though.
True.
Even
Not
though
nail.
it'll split here for the plaster, the nail goes into the
No.
stud.
Look,
Now those are designed to be able to. They don't need a stud behind them.
look, because that.
Oh, it's
that
actually a
clip-
screw, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
that
and as it
clips the wall.
screws, that clip spreads out. It goes in flat, right, David? Or it goes in.
There was a video, but fuck off. That's not going to hold that.
So
See what happens. Drill the hole. Put
yep,
the
it
wall
goes
plug
in flat, and then it spreads once you start screwing in. Yep.
Yeah. And then it grips to the wall.
The only question I have, David, is you used the right hole, the right size bit
Yeah.
going in. Okay.
Literally, it was these little wing things here.
Mm-hmm.
They snapped off. I heard them
Oh.
fall down the wall, and then. Yeah. But what do you expect from Amazon?
Yeah, that sucks. I like the metal ones that balloon out in, I think, 3 or 4 directions.
Yeah, they
But-
do it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got one that actually just goes round in a whole circle, doesn't it? It sort of pulls the metal in and
Mm-hmm.
it balloons out in a full circle.
Yep. In fact, I might have some in the garage. I could show
Well,
you.
we all know that metal is stronger than plastic anyway.
In some cases, but if you put metal in certain walls, it splits the wall.
Well, but see, the metal version of that, what you have, it's got these little ribbons around it of metal, and so when it pushes in, the ribbons of metal crank out like this and do very similar to what the plastic does, but all the way around.
Yeah. Oh, that might.
Yeah, I like this kind here. It'll balloon out 3 different directions.
Yep.
See if I can. And it's all metal. We go in and
Yeah.
once it pulls back, that balloons out
Just
in three
pops
different
it in, doesn't
directions. Those are good. These are pretty good. And these go in the hole.
Yep.
That once I get in there, they just spring back out and pull in. Those are pretty good.
Now, they're what I should have bought, but they ain't what I got. Now,
Yeah.
if you don't mind sending me a couple of them over
Okay,
quickly,
yeah.
I need them within the hour.
I'll fax them to you. You have a fax machine? Give me your fax number.
They're so 1980s.
One of these days, they'll get 3D printers where you can do that.
Exactly. You know, send that STR file over and
You know what? I
automatically
had the. I'm gonna fax. I'm
There
gonna
you go.
fax this over to you real quick, and
There you go. I'll
Yeah.
go on down a minute. Yegi.
but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any that have the big wide tabs like that. I do have some others in there that are the plastic ones that you drive in and then put the screw into, and they flare out two little legs. I don't like those. They never really hold that great for me. If I'm going to have anything that's going to be putting any force back out, I want to use like what I just showed you. But for you, something light that you're only going to have downward force on, those others work pretty good. But
No, these will do. They'll...
yeah, Mark is saying you need some of these spring-loaded ones that I showed you, like that.
Yeah. Well, that's a pain in the ass. Yegi don't have them.
Oh, don't you have a hardware store just down the street from you?
He says you can
No.
get them at the B&Q, David.
We can get them from B&Q, but it means having to get the bus in. Why get the bus when Amazon are delivering for free?
Well, I thought
Because you want your birds to be safe.
Maybe you had a local hardware store close to you. I didn't know.
No, it's 2 buses away, but it's only about 30 minutes away.
See, I've got a hardware store that's 3 blocks from my house.
Well, if you could just nip round there and get me a couple.
Yeah, my closest hardware store is actually I do have the Farm and Ranch store over here if I really need to, and that's probably about 4 minutes.
And they have them, I'm sure.
Yeah, the next hardware store would be 10 minutes. And the big lumber store
Here comes our wounded
is probably
child.
20 minutes.
Come on, mush.
Justin, how you doing, buddy? He's got to be a little sore today, I would think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Laura,
Any swelling?
No,
in the hallway. somewhere.
just it's painful because there's a fucking string in my dick.
Oh, you still got that? Because
He's got the
that's
stent, yeah.
how they're going to pull the stent out, I think.
Yeah.
Boing.
Hey, Justin.
What,
Hey.
Donald?
If you pull on it, it'll pull back in and say stuff.
Oh,
Like, talk to me.
The
pants are on too tight.
Penis.
You need to change the underwear.
Let me out. I can't breathe.
If you lay down on the stairs and roll down, does it go down like a slinky?
Why do you keep beating me? What I do
Ew, gross.
wrong?
That's right. Be kind.
Justin knew he was going to get a ribbon.
oh, that's something you hardly ever see over here anymore, Mark.
Is Sarah at home taking care of you today?
Yeah, she actually did say him.
Good.
She just got done making me some breakfast.
Well, she's in
Wait,
charge.
what?
You know that you got to do whatever she says.
Justin, a lot of the Ace Hardware stores are privately owned.
Right. I just
Franchise.
want
Well, they're franchises, though.
Yeah, they're
I'm
franchise.
saying you have the backing of a big corporation
Can
still.
we just
Right.
back up a minute?
But I'm saying like actual mom and pop hardware stores, yeah, you'd be lucky to find one of those.
We had a place here. It's called Shamrock Screw.
Right. But
And
anyway, let's just
if
back
you
up a
and
minute.
it didn't matter what bolt or screw or whatever that you
I'm gonna
had,
mute you in a minute.
you would walk in and say, "Hey, I need one of these," and they would look at you and say, "I know exactly what that is," and they would go and get it for you. They had this entire place was just bolts and screws, and they'd be
Wow.
like, "Yeah, that's a 9mm course,
5.
1-inch shank."
4.
All right, and they'd walk back and they'd come
3.
back out with it. It was amazing.
Hey, David, what?
Right. Gonna back up a minute here because Laura is actually watching and listening. Laura, listen to what Justin just said. What's Sarah doing for you, Justin, the day after your
You
operation?
just made me breakfast.
Laura, why do I have to make my own breakfast?
My wife made banana and what nut did she use? Pecan
Banana pudding?
butter, banana and pecan pancakes yesterday for breakfast, and there was extras, and so I can go upstairs right now and have some because I just remember.
and you did, and for nothing, right?
I didn't do anything. I wasn't ill or nothing was wrong. She just, we had a banana that was so bad. She
Because
said,
she
"I want to
loves
make
you."
pancakes."
You
She
just sit
did
there
it
and rub,
'cause she
rub it in
loves
for David.
Yeah, and she's like, "Hey, do you
Well-
want pancakes?" I said, "Yes, I would love pancakes." And she went and fixed a big stack of pancakes, and I fixed my plate, and she grabbed a couple. I said, "Hey, those aren't for you." So we put those in the fridge so I could have them.
See you back, Justin.
Enough
He
of
didn't. He didn't share.
What's up, bro?
Good to see you back. I hope you're all right, Dave.
Yeah, for the most part.
Don't worry, Donald. I've sorted you out. Fucking rubbing it in like that.
Well, the only question I have, you said you got a string sticking out your thing, right? How? That's got to
It's
be
for-
tough. That's got to be tough taking a tinkle, doesn't it?
Well, okay? So you know how when you wake up sometimes and you got a boner because you got to
Yeah.
go pee, right?
Yeah.
And then once you go pee, it goes away.
You mean
Well,
the morning glory?
So they took the string out when it was all nice and tight when it wasn't hard and taped it up, you know. So then when I woke up and it went, whoop, it fucking pulled the string and was cutting into my shit. And I was like, oh, I was down there trying to rip the tape off. I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
My ding-a-ling now it has a string. Don't you pull on my ding-a-ling string.
Because they put they put a big long, like 2 or 3 long strings
there it
like
is.
that on it.
That's about all it is, like a Vienna sausage, you know.
There you go.
This is Justin. This is Justin after surgery.
If the sausage is the size of a horse stick, maybe you got it right.
He-
A gelding.
Justin says you got to hold up summer sausage.
But that's us.
Oh, banana and walnut bread is really good. That is delicious, Mark. That is some good eating right there.
Morning, Jonathan.
Jonathan, how's it going?
Turtle Creek. Man,
So State Farm told me it's going to happen as soon as it clears the account, meaning the car is still not completely closed out with State Farm. Now it's a month and a half. And as soon as it closes out, they'll refund everything they took back until January 24th. And I said, well, are you putting it as a credit or are you putting it back on my Discover card? I want it back on my Discover card. Because it's going to be like $500.
And they said,
You have to talk to the agent
"Huh."
because
Who's
Louisiana
credit?
will not let
his
Who
insurance.
wasn't?
that's
Oh.
State Farm. So and Louisiana won't let the online cancel anything. It's got to go through an agent because if you cancel a policy and you don't have insurance for 24 hours on an automobile, you get a $650 fine.
Why wouldn't you just
But
want
you
to
gotta
keep it
fight
as
'em.
credit though, and just let them
No.
take it out as you need it?
You're not doing State Farm, right?
Well, I'm doing State Farm still with my other car, but I'm going from $357 a month to like I think it's $128. You know.
Well, why? That's what I'm saying. Why not let him keep it? That's like 3 months right there. 3-4 months
Yeah,
worth
If
of.
they would
Oh,
take
my.
that credit and apply it to your new bill, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You're going to pay it
if
anyways.
sits
at
in my
some point.
bill, if it sits in my bill, they won't take anything out for 3 months. So I might leave it that way.
That's
I'd
what
rather
I'm
have to go
saying,
back
and-
onto Discover.
and then you don't have to worry about it at all. You pay Discover and keep your credit good.
Bring the account down a little bit then.
I did. I always like doing credit if I could pay ahead on something like that. Like every year I used to do that with the electric bill. I'd put like an extra $500 down on it, and then it would get us a couple months without having to pay it.
Oh dang!
It's just I don't see why it takes that long. It should be automatic. Once they pay the claim, they ought to be able to do it.
Well, that's my whole argument of, a company can take money out your fucking account instantly when you buy something. But when you want your money back, it's 5 to 10 business days. Fuck out of here. Why can't you just turn around and instantly return it back to me? I don't understand why it takes that long. Like we all know companies have the ability to do that. I mean, if you have PayPal, you can do a couple days of sending money to somebody if you don't want a fee, or you can do it instantly for a very small fee. And it's there within 10 seconds after you send it.
The bucket.
So they have the ability. They just don't want to.
Morning, Jody.
Yeah, I hate that shit too, Jonathan. It's annoying. Like,
It's for the
especially when
companies all the time.
do what? Oh, because he really hates when companies take money out of his account. He's trying to convey that to you.
No, I'm just saying. No, he always writes in capitals.
I don't know. Maybe it's just easier on his phone or something. What's up, Jody?
He wants to make a point.
But
No, just curious.
yeah, there's nothing worse when a company pulls money out that they weren't supposed to. Oh my god, dude, that pisses me off.
He bought a cheap keyboard. He couldn't afford the lowercase letters.
It cost extra if you want to lower.
So everything on his keyboard is all uppercase. In fact, mine is too. If you look at my keyboard, everything's uppercase. I'm surprised I can type in lowercase.
Now you imagine if you just didn't have the fucking caps lock button. You had 2 sets of fucking letters.
What
That would be a
what
big ass
BMW
keyboard.
You got Mac? What BM you got?
I'm sorry, Mark, but I would never buy a BMW or a Mercedes.
I've got quite a lot of Mercedes.
I would never buy one of those. Dude, they're
BMW
shit
is a
on
complete
value.
Nazi. Yeah, BMWs are Nazi cars. Drive a Volkswagen.
No, I'm just saying over here,
Hey, Dre.
BMWs and Mercedes can lose their value pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Dre's
They
coming
don't
in.
hold a.
Dre's coming in, Justin, to correct you on any of your misstatements.
Oh, what's up, Dre?
Hey, Dre.
I mean, he can
I'm doing
try,
okay.
but,
Got
you
this
know.
little coughing this weekend.
Wait, hold on. Why can't I see him?
You got a little coughing going on.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Ron's in here too. I had non-video participants hidden, so I didn't even know Ron was here.
Yep. Yeah, I read a little bit of that message you sent me, Justin.
Oh, did you look through it?
Yeah, just like I told people, everybody.
It's very detailed.
I said, hey, every time he took off and flew, they hammered him.
Yeah, it's very detailed. It tells the title of the video and what he did wrong in the video. Like, it's very detailed.
And that's why I told people, I said, when you're not registered pilot, the drones that he was flying at the time were not registered. Every time he took off, he gets hammered.
Somebody found me the court records and sent them to me. I was
Hey,
like, oh, that's
Joe.
interesting. They
Look
sent
at
me a
all-
PDF.
Fresh.
Oh, look at this fake shirt. Look at that.
Yeah.
This fake bow tie.
Oh, there he is.
As we sit down south, Joe is suited and booted.
Captain
Here's
Joe.
my-
Look at Harry. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Ready for any backyard wedding.
So
Heard Dre was in, so I had to change real quick.
yeah. So like I said, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. You know, and like I said, it goes back from years ago, and they in the first couple of paragraphs they explained they have reached out to him, explained to him, told him what he shouldn't be doing, and he continued to do what he wanted to do.
And yet you take your pants off every time Donald comes on the stream. Confused.
I take my socks off.
He's
yeah,
like, look,
that-
he's like, look, I got one of those, only smaller.
Give him the middle finger, Joe. You ass.
Y'all gotta quit talking about Tim like that, you know?
Oh wow.
No, but yeah, that was very detailed paper.
Of course they are. The government's not going to put up a sloppy case if they can't. If they don't have, I would say 90% and above probability of a conviction rate, they won't throw it up there.
Oh, their conviction rate is insanely high. That's what I was telling people. Like, if you compare it to a state's conviction rate, what a state's like maybe 30-40%, maybe. And
Yeah, the
federal government, they'll be in the high 90s.
Yeah, the government's not going to throw up some garbage.
No.
It's going to be your own words, your own stuff. Like I said, when he's posting stuff,
And-
you can't run from that.
And they had like pictures and of every thumbnail from each video too.
Right.
I saw.
Showing
I was like,
telemetry.
Jesus.
On your telemetry, I'm like, you do it to yourself.
But look how long they take to build their case, though. Too almost 3 years now.
Yeah, but like I said,
They took their time.
He kept digging his own hole during that whole process.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they pretty much recorded everything he did, and then they went through it with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah.
And they took a 3-year period to really build their case. And oh yeah, they got the he's definitely going to have a rough time. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this is I say the poster boy in the test case that will be measured
never-
in all other cases.
And that's never a good thing to be the first one either.
No.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
I just went on Facebook and saw that they put Judy back in ICU. So,
Lloyd's wife.
Is that from
yeah,
Lloyd?
if you guys have a chance, pop in on Facebook and leave a message for Lloyd.
Who, what?
Most likely he won't be on.
Lloyd's
the-
wife.
Lloyd, the grumpy vlogger.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
His wife was in ICU, what, 2 or 3 weeks back?
Yep.
For a little bit, and then she got out.
She was back in, and I guess he said last night he went home, but then they called him at 11 o'clock, said that they moved her back in the ICU because her breathing got worse.
Right.
So
Let me tell you something. I give it to Lloyd, man, because he has a lot of his own medical problems.
yeah,
But yeah, he gets up every day and takes care of her. And
That's why I told him. I told him give her a hug, but also to make sure he gets rest for himself.
Yeah.
It's not going to do him any good to.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because if you go back and look at Lloyd's channel, I think he's been live streaming for about 10 years now.
Mhm.
And if you go back and look at him and Judy, kind of like were real good, and then all of a sudden, like a 5-6 year mark, it was like they both just got a bunch of health issues all at one time.
Mhm.
But he gets up every day and takes care of her. I'll give it to him, man. It's
Time
You
comes
know.
for all of us.
Well, there's no escaping the old age.
Yep. Time is the undefeated champion.
Yep. So
So, Mr.
if you get a minute,
Don
go say
Goff,
hi. Yes,
Did you view it?
dude.
Oh,
what time were we? Drake. What time were we on last night?
Hey, I got off at around 8 o'clock my time because I was, trying to.
Oh, you see, that was bedtime. I got off bedtime for me.
See, but you're on here in the morning.
Yeah, and this morning I got an edit going on over here. And
here's the excuse train. Choo choo.
okay,
see, Dre,
okay,
if you
okay,
wanna-
Dre,
well, hold on,
I'm gonna
hold
stop
on,
with
hold on.
excuses. I just don't like you.
There you
Hold
go.
Hold on.
Now the truth comes out.
No,
No.
Right now, if he would have watched your video and he had the YOLO box, he could have switched from editing to watching your video, right? He knew how to use it.
I do have two channels here.
Justin, I did extra stuff last night just for examples for him to see.
Oh, Dre,
And
please.
then he
Dre.
blows it off talking about, I totally forgot Dre was coming on. And I said, well, you going to replay later on. So you're hanging out with the midnight crowd, as my dad said, if you want to go out there and and you say hang out with the coyotes. You better be able to get up with the crows the next morning.
Great.
Oh man.
Great. I know you're
That's all
joking.
right. That's all
And
right.
and I know I'm an ass.
I understand. I understand.
but-
You know, I get it.
but
You know,
there's
I
a
was
little
trying
part
to
of
do
me-
a favor for you, and I mean, at least Rob said that, you know, it's the middle of the night for him, so he would watch it afterward. You know, when he got a chance. But then, you know, we're only about 3 hours time difference. Is that? No, you're in Missouri, right?
2
We're only
hours.
2 hour difference.
Dre, I apologize.
You left Donald speechless, Dre.
I apologize. You know, I am an ass and I come off as not caring but if I even suspect I've really offended somebody, it breaks my heart. And I know you're joking,
you
but there's
know
still a
you're
little
not.
nugget inside. There's still a little nugget inside. Even though I know you're joking and you're smiling,
Yeah.
there's a little nugget inside that says you're an asshole.
No,
You're an asshole. Nobody likes you because you're an asshole.
I
have a little child in my head.
Joe would say down south, they add a little ifate on there to make it special, and then you just blew it off. Dude.
I have a little child. I call him my little child in my head he lives to trash talk me and make me think I have to pull whenever I leave on a shoot and I'm driving out of town. It doesn't matter how much I check everything. I double check. I load my gear. I'll get 3 or 4 blocks and the little kid will think of one thing that, hey, did you pack that? I know I packed that. That shouldn't have been unpacked. So it's in there. Are you sure? No. And I have to pull over and double check the one thing that my little kid brings up. And then I drive out of town. I'm fine. But
yeah, it happened to me yesterday. I drove back from Vegas, had to do 2 jobs yesterday. Like you said, packing everything up, had to head out, get about maybe halfway there. And I thought, I'm supposed to download a new KML file, drove all the way back home, put the SD card out of the controller, only to find out I had did it 2 weeks ago.
Now,
Tell you
Dave,
what, Donald.
that's kind of like when you
stop a
lock
minute,
up.
Donald.
Yeah, David, go
That
ahead.
was a-
You're more important
that
than our
was a
conversation.
Great way of changing the subject and stopping yourself from squirming. Ray, don't let him do that.
No. I'm just telling.
No. We all spotted it.
David,
You changed
David,
subject.
jackass.
Get back to
I
squirming.
didn't.
man.
I'm back. I'm on the subject, David. We never left the subject. Is that I'm squirming because that little kid in my head does not let me off the hook. So even if Dre laughs and everything like that, that little kid is going to be messing with me all day long. Yeah, but what if he's not? What if he is serious? What if he really did hurt his feelings? So it's going to get watched, and there will be a comment on it as well, so that you'll shut up and leave me alone. And
no, yesterday I got out to the second job, set up the RTK base station, got everything going, and I kept getting a message saying RTK insufficient light, all this kind of stuff. I'm going back to everything, and I just said, forget it. I'll just shut down the RTK station and fly it, regular GPS. And then I'm talking about going home, hooking the RTK station to the DJI assist program to make sure it's got the right, update and stuff. It's got it on there. And then it dawned on me, hey, dummy, check your phone. You forgot to turn on your hotspot when you were there. So I mean,
I know there's little things.
There's always little things, dude. It's always the little things.
Well, it's always the little things in life that trip you up. It isn't the regular.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's no worse than Paul. He just forgets the whole drone.
Yeah, I forget a lot of stuff, Justin.
Yeah, that day he walked out and he gets down to the water. He comes back. He goes, "You never believe it. I got down there and I forgot my fucking drone."
Everybody's heard. I'm sure everybody's heard the story of me being in the helicopter. They rented a helicopter for the shoot and getting upside down on my tally. So, which means that you're recording when you think you're turned off and you're turned off when you think you're recording.
Oh,
so I was upside down on my tally the entire shoot, and they had rented a helicopter. This is before drones.
Wow.
And I got back. I had just little snippets where I had, like, at the tails and heads of those video clips that I could use.
You recorded all the in-betweens when that.
So when you thought you were stopping, you were actually recording for a minute, and then you would hit.
Yeah, my gut is turning to water right now thinking of it. That is those big.
But you had just enough video where you didn't get in, like you were able to do it, or
that
what?
we were able to salvage to shoot. Yeah.
Wow.
That's an expensive rental too.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
That's lucky.
Yeah,
Wow.
they had rented the helicopter from out of Oklahoma, and the guy had flown all the way up here to do it. It was a fun shoot, and it was a brand new camera, and that's how I got upside down on the tally
Yeah.
because
Not
it was
100% familiar.
it was the HPX 200, and it was a lighter weight camera, and it had an external what was it, FireWire storage unit, and I was recording to that external, and so it was a whole, and we'd just gotten the camera like 3 days before, and
You didn't really, where you're still kind of learning how to use it.
I was unfamiliar, and I was used to having a light on the camera pop up because I used to. We were always shooting on the Sony's. But,
Wow.
But yeah, my gut still turns to water when I think about stuff like that. It's just like,
It happened to me with Johnny one day out at Manchac. I followed a beautiful yacht that was coming in underneath the Highway 55 bridges, and then it was going to go through the train bridge, and the train bridge was up. So I got in there, and I was recording on it. I said, well, let me stop it real quick. And I went back and I pressed it again to record it. And for some reason, I must have slid my finger across it and stopped it again. Didn't realize it. And I'm following this thing underneath these. I mean, this is beautiful footage. And I'm watching, and I'm about 20 feet behind the boat, the yacht, big yacht going through. And I'm going with the yacht, and I'm bringing it very slowly down with it. And I'm getting it to where it's about a little bit above yacht level. And we go underneath the train bridge together. Beautiful. And then I go ahead and fly it off. And I hit the stop button, and I look up, and I'm noticing I'm recording.
oh.
What the
Everybody's done that.
Everybody's done that because you're so focused. You're like, oh, this is great, and you're focused on that shot, and you're focused on keep it smooth, keep it steady. It's right here. Go ahead and pan over just a little bit, and you're doing all those little micro adjustments, trying to just make that. And you're like, oh, this is so great, so great. And
no matter how
you don't see it.
And no matter how good you are, at some point, if you fly enough, it's just a matter of when you're going to do that, not if.
Yes.
Because you will do that. It's just like leaving your memory card at home. Everybody's done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
Or you go out.
Johnny,
like if it wasn't for the Air 2 having 8 gigs of memory built in, dude, I would have been screwed quite a few times because I got all the way to where I was flying and realized I didn't have my fucking memory card. I left it in the reader. At the home.
Johnny asked me, said, did you lose a drone? What happened? Because of what I was saying. He said he thought I lost the drone.
That HPX camera also had a different mount, like tripod mount, because we always used the same tripod mount, which is a heavier V-lock mount, and this one had a different mount. And I drove down. It was 45 minutes to the shoot. Got there. Pulled out the tripod, pulled out the camera, wrong damn tripod for the camera. It wouldn't slide. So I ended up having to grab some grip tape, and I grip taped the camera to the tripod head. I got the shoot done. I improvised, got the shoot done, but
improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Those little things that, especially if you're, it's stuff that you do a million times and you stop thinking about it.
Well, this is the thing: is it sucks when you're just playing around out there like Joe doing, you're doing like what do you want to call hobbyist type flying? So you don't really need it, but when you guys are out there doing that professional shit and you forget something, oh god, that's got to feel even scarier.
And
like not having the right stuff.
You do something a million times that you start forgetting things. That's why checklists are really important. Having checklists.
Have you a checklist before you leave?
And you sit there and you look and you're like, do your pre-flight checklist. You're like, I've done this a million times. No, do that damn checklist.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to forget because, you've done it a million times and you go through and you know it. But
let's face it, there's a lot of people that don't do a checklist before they fly.
But doing the checklist, that's what makes you a professional. Following those procedures.
Yep.
And some people say, you know what, that just going through that just takes extra time. I can get the drone in the air and get the shot done, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you stop and you do the checklist because that's what makes you the pro.
Well, if you look at a lot, like when I went to a lot of the meetups, I'd say about 90% of guys never really check their drone. They would just pop it out of the case, turn it on in the air.
Yeah,
And wouldn't
me,
look at.
every prop. When I
See, that
pop
was
it
one
open,
thing I always checked. Was I was more
I'm-
concerned about the props and the battery.
I check every prop, pre-flight, post-flight. I check every battery, pre-flight, post-flight. I mean, all of it.
There was two different times, Donald, that if I wouldn't have
When you put the drone in the air, you do the dance with it.
if
Left,
I wouldn't
right,
have checked
off,
my
or back.
propellers, there was
Mhm.
one time that I caught the kids had cut it with some scissors, one of my props, and I didn't know it.
And that
And then
would
the second time the cat fucking chewed it. Well, they tried to blame the cat on the second time. I said, there's literally a pair of scissors sitting on my desk right next to it. I said, you can see they're clean cuts. That's not chewing from the cat. I said, one of you guys cut my damn props playing around. But you know, if I wouldn't have seen it because the cuts were nice and clean.
Right.
And when the prop was
Mhm.
sitting there, there was no,
Yeah.
space
Right.
between the cut.
Yep. Always,
So the-
always check them.
That was the two things I
Ron.
always checked was that
And
the
especially
battery.
with the old the
He's
phantom
frozen.
props, I always check those. Me, Ron.
No, Ron is.
Ah.
Oh,
He's
there he
always
is.
frozen.
Hey,
But,
Ron, how you doing?
Those phantom props, I always
He's
check
moving a
those
little
for
bit.
stress. They would get stress cracks, and
Yeah.
especially around where they push down and twist it onto. Everybody always checks along the length of the blade, but right along where they actually lock in on those
Yeah.
phantoms, you start aging right there because you're getting a lot of wear and tear right there on that little pivot point.
Mhm.
And that's one part that people would neglect to check out. And that's one thing I would always, I have a little screwdriver in the kit. Every prop, check the length of it, make sure no nicks, take a screwdriver and just push down on all the plastic right around there. Make sure that it got any cracks or any brittle pieces right next to that mount.
Yeah, Ron's in a really bad area. I think he's talking, but
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's
Coming in
breaking
and
up
out.
real bad.
You're coming in and out, Ron.
Yeah, right. And we can't like even understand. Well, I heard that. He said, "Oh shit."
we got the oh shit.
Oh shit, word.
I'm surprised he gets as good a signal out there where he lives as he does, man. Ron's out in the fucking boonies.
Yeah, no man's land.
There you go. Now you're back.
How's the weather out there today, Ron?
Weather's good today. All the snow melted yesterday, just about. So, I think my thermometer in my car had a seizure. It says it's 55 degrees. There's no way in hell it's 55.
Oh, dude, it was freezing here last night. It had to have been in the low or high 30s last night here. It was fucking cold.
Wow. We ran around in sweatshirts in that weather.
It's just 60 right now, so
Ooh,
Oh.
bird. Oh, you
oh,
poor
never
idiot.
mind. It just updated 68, and will be a high of 75 today. Yeah, but it sucks down here though, because it'll be freezing cold one day or at night, and then during the day it goes right back up into the 70s and 80s. It's like, geez. When it starts to the temperature starts varying that much, that's when you start getting sick and shit. People
Yeah.
start getting sick because you're talking about 20, 30 degree difference just in the matter of a few hours.
Rob, just so you're aware, although it says good weather for Wednesday, I can guarantee it's impending seriously bad weather.
Is it?
Yeah, Laura's charging her batteries to take her drone out on Wednesday.
There was one day it was so cold where Ron was at, David, that me and him were 100 degrees apart.
I can imagine.
Yeah, today
It was like
35
negative what?
below,
Yeah, yeah.
30, 35 below.
Yeah, we were what I want to say, like I don't remember, it was like 50 or 60. And
Where
we were
Ron-
right about 100 degrees apart.
Where Ron lives, the bears actually catch humans to make coats.
Yeah, he's out in the boonies. That's why I said 20 years ago he'd have been lucky to get a cell signal out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my old way home today. Change things up. The only bad part about it is that route of travel, I have an hour and a half of absolutely no cell service.
The whole hour and a half?
Yep.
Wow, that's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big dead spot.
Oh, big, huge.
Because usually you'll get like in some areas, even rural areas, sometimes you might get like a 5 or 10 mile dead spot at a times, but yeah, that's a long ways.
For the most part, I got FirstNet. I switched over to that last summer. It's been doing a lot better than Verizon.
Well, you got to look at which carrier does better in your state. Like if you're in Florida, Verizon and AT&T suck. It's all about T-Mobile in Florida. If you want good coverage, get T-Mobile because you'll have full 5G everywhere you go. And one of the problems is Verizon's actually, they're investing over $1 billion down here in Florida because their network's getting so strained from all the people moving down here. They're actually really trying to step their game up down here because of that. Because you were down here and you had what, AT&T, Ron? And you said you weren't getting good coverage, right?
No, I had Verizon. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. When you were down here. Yeah, if you're in Florida, definitely T-Mobile because they bought out Metro PCS. And Metro PCS, they had shit tons of towers in Florida. I'm talking they were everywhere. And they were based out of Florida and they were starting to expand out into other states. And when they started getting really big, T-Mobile came in and bought them up. And so now they have all their towers and and T-Mobile has all theirs down here. If you look at their coverage in Florida, it's just solid.
Oh, goodness.
I love being on picture day. I've got 12 people ordered already. It came out to $340 for the 12 people. I'll make about $275 on that. And if it projects out the way this is going with the people, it'd be probably about a $2,300 a day.
Not bad.
Yeah,
That's
good
most
day.
people's, that's average monthly pay for some people. So,
I could use
today
it. That
was,
would be about that profit.
Today was proof to use your Alaska Airlines credit card. I just booked my flight for August and had enough points and it cost me $11.20 in taxes.
Wow.
Hey,
Do you need to borrow the money, Ron?
What's that?
Do you need to borrow the money?
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Mavic 2 again.
Okay.
It's an old workhorse. It really is. It has not failed me.
yeah,
Did
a
I
couple
just hear
more.
The Bank of Rob's open.
The Bank of Rob is open, though. That's what Peter says.
Yeah.
I got a couple
Yeah,
more
Ronnie
years.
wanted to know if you wanted to borrow the money to pay it. You probably got the money from in between the cushions.
Yeah, but no, Rob would have said, Ron would have said yeah, and then Rob would have said the APR is 99,000%.
So, yeah, I'm gonna be like you guys in a couple
loan
years here,
shark.
Joe. I'm not gonna get
I
shit back
gladly
for
lend you the
taxes.
$7.22 today, but you pay me back next week $923.
Yeah, I don't get anything back.
That's what I said. When
And
you have kids,
technically-
I only got a couple more
Yeah.
years of fat tax checks, and then they're gone. Because my two oldest
Yeah,
will be out
ironically,
the house.
ironically, when I file, they tell me I don't need to file. You know, so I'm that borderline on it. You know, because let's put it that way, I'm able to do it right. You know, but I always file at the last minute, just to make sure I got one in there.
Yeah, I got one more year of Kelsey on my taxes, or 2 more years, 3 with Thomas, and then Aubrey's 9. So what? 9 more years with her. But once the older 2 are of age and they're paying their own taxes, yeah, that's even no more big fat paid tax checks at the end of the year.
Well, my daughter, the reason she was able to buy that car is because she had Lily.
Well, Justin,
She got it back in taxes.
Yeah,
as long as the kids are still living at home and going to school,
yeah, I think it's 25, right?
yeah, you can claim them still.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're
Once
working and
once
stuff,
they start working, they're living at home, you're screwed.
Yeah, if
Yep.
they're working, then yeah, the most like yeah. But if they're going to school and staying with us, then I'd do that.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah, I had a good deal with the ex-wife. She claimed 2 and I claimed 1 all the time. Justin was on
Now-
mine all the time. So I didn't
now-
want to mess him up. But she would, what she would do with Nick, she'd pay me half of what she got for Nick. So I had a good deal going
see,
on.
yeah, you got to be careful nowadays, man. People claiming your kids, because like Sarah's mom did it one year because we were actually what was it, last year? I think when we were staying with her, she did it, and they sent a letter. They wanted proof that the kids were living here,
Yeah.
and yeah, they starting to check that shit now. Now people, because I remember back in the day, I would see my friends' parents. You know, they would 2 or 3 of them would be on their taxes, and then their other 2 kids they couldn't claim, and they would have like their friends or somebody else claim them. Yeah, back then you could do that, but yeah, you got to be careful these days, and especially since the IRS has more freaking power now, and they got more people working
Yeah.
there.
Oh no, they're
Right.
only going to go after billionaires.
Oh, want to
Yeah,
make
that's
sure
what they
that they
said.
got all their tax loops in order.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what's happening.
Well, Dre has to worry about that, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, from the day, just like Joe, on April 16th, I'm already planning for April 15th the following year already.
Yep.
The only thing that saved me over the last several years is my drone business, because I've been writing everything off, buying these drones, and I can write them off. But it's gonna get to a point where like they're gonna start looking at me real close. You don't buy about enough drones there, Mr. Crawford. You know, and that's why I say you got to document and have receipts.
Years
That's what I
back,
do. But hunting guiding,
yeah.
everything for hunting. I buy Cabela's, all my mileage for hunting,
Right.
all right up.
Yep. That's the only
No.
thing. That's the only thing that saved us over the last several years is my drone business. We've been
Well-
forking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 easy.
So Dre,
Yeah.
I've never really done any write-offs myself because I've never really had anything, at least
Mm-hmm.
not that I knew of, that I could write off. So I've never done it. But if you write off that, say that Matrice was 14 or 15,000, however much you paid
Mhm.
for it, how much do you get back for writing that off? Like say it was 15 grand. You get anything back, or does it just go
It-
towards the money you would have paid the
It
government?
reduces the amount that they are taxing.
Right.
Okay, okay.
Because you count it as a loss in your business.
Mhm.
'Cause
Yep,
you
you
had to
should-
spend money for the business, so they count as a loss.
Yep.
So
So how
even-
much do you think they would knock off for that? Just a couple $100, or would it be $1,000
No, I
for
mean,
something that
it adds up.
expensive?
Like this
It
last
depends on-
year, I bought
really
two
depends on
drones
his
last
bracket.
year. I bought the Phantom RTK, and I bought the Maverick 3. You know, so I got about at least another $7,000 wrapped
Oh.
up in drone purchases. You look at batteries, you look at all little things, even stuff for the live stream. All that stuff I bought for that, it's all getting written off because it's all part of the business.
Now, do you charge
Oh,
mileage?
that's why he was trying to sell me his used camera. Okay. I got it.
Are you able to charge off your mileage and travel expenses?
Yeah, I take the standard mileage because even that gets sticky. Ron can probably test that better than me. Once you get to a certain level, like I said, you don't want any red flags.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even mess
Okay,
with
this is what I
mileage because it's
got.
such a pain in the butt.
And what's the standard? So a lot of times you lose out because you just say this take the standard.
My
Yeah,
tax
you don't
lady
need-
told me to about every 5 years you should show a gain
Yeah,
and then go back to showing a loss again.
right. And that's what I'm saying. I'm getting close to that mark.
Fucking taxes are confusing.
Yeah.
They're gonna look at it and say, you're between your regular income and your drone business, you're in another whole other tax bracket, Mr. Crawford.
Mhm.
You know, and then my
Yeah.
wife, we found out that her school had not been paying her for her master's degree for the last 8 years. So she got dumped a whole 8 years worth of back pay.
Yeah, it's nice when with all these new programs coming out so that people can do their own taxes. It makes
Yeah,
it so easy.
It's gonna suck ass this year because when I got my severance from the cable company, they paid me out for the next 6 months all in one whack.
Yeah.
And so this year's gonna suck.
Yeah. So we know we're gonna bite it a little bit this year. I mean, my thing is, if I can keep it below, obviously below $1,000 I got to pay back to the government, I'm a happy camper, dude. I just hate that I have to fork out, $5, $6, $7, $8,000. That's heartbreaking.
I want to be wealthy enough to hire somebody just to do the books for me. That's a goal.
Well, you just keep on living, Don. Keep on living.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing I hate most about all this is all the books and keeping track, all the business side of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, like anything else, like a lot of us, we're in the middle type thing where we don't get any advantages one way or another. We always got to bite the big shit sandwich, no matter what.
Yep.
Like I said, we had enough money that we had to hire people to manage it and hide it for us and offshore accounts and everything else. Okay, no big deal. But when you're in the middle, you still trying to make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, dude. And like you said, you don't want to be on the wrong side of IRS because just like for our boy Mikey's situation, you be getting letters like that in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
United States of America versus whoever, and they start freezing your accounts and crap like that.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, I got audited. They sent me a letter saying they needed me to get all my stuff together. They were going to audit me, gave me a date to be there.
Mm-hmm.
If I couldn't make that date, I had to let them know now. And went through everything. And I work off of spreadsheets where everything's put in there and all of the receipts are scanned and everything else. I've always done that. All the mileage. I almost went as far as I did it at one time. I used to even take pictures of the odometer and work off it that way. And I had everything. And at the end of the year, I just print everything out and I put it in a little binder.
Right.
And when they did that, I said, no big deal. I walked in. I had a little bitty box, about 4x6 box, that had receipts in it that were all by month, and all of that was in there. I had everything scanned in the binder. I had all the stuff in there. I walked in. The guy looks at me and he says, "This is what we're looking for," and all of this. He said, "What's all of that?" I said, "Here, the records." He opened it up and he thumbed through it, put it back together. He said, "Let me go get your check." And I said, "Wait, are you going to go through it?" He said, "I'm not going through that." He said, "It looks like it's right. Just by if you did that much to make it look like that, it's right to me."
Yeah, like I said, all they're looking for is the effort.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's all they're looking for.
He said, "I'm not touching it." He said, "That's all your receipts." I said, "All my receipts by month."
Yep.
Like that.
And that's the sad part, that when you're I could say what's the term I'm looking for, sole proprietor. You got to keep all your receipts and all this kind of stuff, man, and just to cover yourself. That's the main thing, just to cover yourself. Like I say, two biggest things that'll break you down financially: hospital bills and tax liens. Hey, I see Al's in the house.
Yep.
Oh man, I think I got a little fever going. I might go home today.
There you go.
Because I am still sick. I'm drinking some tea and I'm still got a little bit of shivers going on. I think I'm gonna go home.
Man,
Go home and kick back and relax.
You won't relax.
You won't relax.
Yeah, Marines don't know how to relax. They always find something else to do.
Yeah. a worst case that you call yourself relaxing and then your brain is running 100 miles per hour when you think you're
Oh, I'm
sleeping.
telling you.
And then it's like, I might as well go ahead and just get up because I can't relax. Your brain is
Yeah,
running.
I'm sitting here right now. That checklist is going off in my brain
Mhm.
about today. I'm thinking, do I have the pictures in the thing? Do I have this, that? Do I have this? You know, it's like, so, because today is going to be, I got 95 kids to shoot pictures of. And the coach, the first thing he sent me something last night. He said, we're doing the team picture first, right? I said, I always do the team picture first at track. Then we bring them in by grade levels, seniors first. And as soon as I take their picture, they go out and go back to track and do their thing. He says, yeah, that was what I was thinking. I think I kind of remember you doing that. So as soon as I take their picture, I'm finished with them, go back to practice, you know?
Yeah.
They don't get sweaty for a team picture or nothing like that.
Right. Yeah.
And the seniors are the
it
ones
always-
that are going to be more important.
It always makes me laugh when people that you do work for think you're just sitting at home waiting for them to call you. You got nothing else going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm fitting you in.
Yeah, all I've been doing the last few days of templates, getting all the templates right, making sure everything matched up. So that when I start doing, I can't do anything tonight because we're going out with the family because it's my son's last day here. Then he goes back to North Carolina tomorrow. So we're going to be going out tonight. So I won't even process till tomorrow morning. So I want to make sure everything's sitting there. So when I start popping them in tomorrow, I can get them on the web and people could start buying them that way too.
Is you over at the main base at Lejeune or New River or Cherry Point?
He's up at Cherry Point. Cherry Point.
Okay, Cherry Point.
Yeah, aircraft maintenance officer. He gave me the squadron number.
Yeah.
He moves to the new squadron officially. He's been there for 2 weeks, but before he came down, but he officially March 1st, he's attached to it.
Right.
And he is the aircraft maintenance officer for it.
So you can tell him from me, he's swinging with the wings.
I already told him, I said, you're not real. Sir. That's what I told him. I said, you're not a Marine. You're not a real Marine.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
Well, we do see what happens when you get mouthy around there with Justin.
Yeah, he told me he's going to shoot me in the knee.
Yeah, he did. He told Joe he was going to shoot him in the knee if he went in his room and took his candy.
Oh, wow.
I said, you really going to do that? He said, you got a choice. Your knee or your hip. You want to walk again or what? I said, well, you got to go to sleep. He said, come through that door and see. That's all right. The service weapon's laying right over there.
It's a son versus a dad now, huh? He's old enough to take on Pops.
Yeah, he thinks.
He may think. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going through that door. He's got that AR sitting in there.
Just tell him, Joe.
That's
I can disable the AR before you can even put a chamber around.
You got a point. He's got the AR sitting against the wall. That's his personal weapon sitting there. His service weapon is in the room.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it.
Yeah.
Do they buy can they buy their own service weapon if they want like something different? Or do they have to use a specific kind?
They use Glock 17s up in Covington. Yeah, he's got Glock 17s. He's got a Glock 19 sitting over there. It's his. But it's ironic. They come in to spray the apartment, and there might be an AR-15 leaning against the wall here, and then a Glock sitting here and a Glock sitting there, and they just kind of look at. Well, they know they got a police officer looking at you, you know.
Can't some departments buy their own? Can't they buy their own guns?
Yeah, some people can.
Yeah, I bought my own because when I came through, we were still Long Beach PD was still handing out revolvers. As soon as I
LAPD had in New York.
Yeah, as soon as I cleared probation, I went in and got me a Beretta, 9mm Beretta, and I've had that weapon ever since.
Yep.
Yeah, back in the day, a lot of police departments used the old 6-shooters.
Yeah.
My cousin had a 9mm Beretta, and we're at the mouth of the Mississippi River fishing, and they catch a big old stingray, and they're fighting to get it off and everything, and they're having a problem trying to get it off. 3 of them, and his Beretta was sitting on a boat. I reached over, got the Beretta, walked over there, racked it. I said, "Move out of the way," and I shot it right off the hook. I said, there you go, it's off the hook. You know.
I'd
I just
say
said
it was.
right where the mouth was, blew right off.
I would say it was what, like the 80s or 90s, when a lot of police departments started going to like Glocks and shit.
Yeah,
Because it was they realized they were outgunned, using a little 6-shooter.
yeah.
Yeah, I like my 357, but it's only 5 shots. I would
Mhm.
much prefer carrying the SIG with me.
I wouldn't say. I would say not. I don't know. Does it? I don't. I wouldn't think every cop carries a backup. I'm sure there's some out there that don't.
I would say
Right,
a
but-
lot of the real old school guys that came up to the 70s and 80s, they were more inclined to have backup because they only had the revolver.
Right.
Yeah.
Started going to the like I say, my 9mm has a 15 round capacity, so three mags, which is why I always carry. You got 45 rounds. If I can't suppress you or put you down in 45 rounds, I need some help.
You need to change your job.
Yep.
Well, not necessarily, because you remember the LA bank heist, and
Well,
those
that
poor
was
cops were extremely outmaneuvered because they were unloading clips into those guys, but they
Well,
were
they
so
said the
heavily
guys were
body
wearing
armor.
body armor.
Yeah.
Guys were
I
wearing
mean, their
body
aim
armor
was
from the
on. They
neck-
just couldn't do
from the
nothing.
neck down to their legs, and that's another part of the training aspect that no one was going for headshots.
That's one thing that I never understood about that. It was like nobody went for a headshot.
Yeah,
I know that they did
that's
have
the
some
difference.
kind of armor on their head a little bit, though, didn't they?
No, only they had the high collar, armor up here to the high collar.
But it was the faceplate they could have went at, huh?
Well, I think the headshot is like I said, he wasn't wearing helmets, so they could have popped one in the head, but that's just not standardized department policy.
Yeah, that was a crazy shootout, man. They actually had to go to a gun store and
Mhm.
confiscate their guns just to be able to fight the guys.
Right.
They
Yeah.
went in there and confiscated a bunch of ARs and shit.
Yeah. It's like every
Justin's-
crazy event that happened, I was always at home. Either I worked the graveyard shift or I was off that day, just like the Oklahoma bombing. We had an officer get shot in Long Beach. I just had breakfast with that guy the day before. He stopped, picked up a guy outside of an apartment complex, and one of the other people came out and shot the cop in the back of the backside of the head. And that's another form of lynching, when you lynch somebody out of custody. So yeah, and just like 9/11, I was laying in bed, woke up that morning, I'm like, that's not an accident, especially when I saw that second plane hit. I told my wife, I said, that's no accident. That was intentional. Well, you get to see a lot of stuff. You hear about it. A lot of people you may come in contact with. You always want to, meet people. You expect everybody to live a long life, man, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Now, Mark, in the UK, not all cops have guns, right? Isn't there like special divisions, the cops that carry, and then some don't?
More and more are having guns.
I
You see
did-
more in London than you will elsewhere, but there's firearm teams on every force now.
So out in the rural areas, they just politely tell you, "Hey there, mate, chap, can you come over for a second? I have to speak with you."
I was watching a video, and it was an American cop versus a British cop, and it was a dog attacking them. And, and the one British cop didn't have any weapon on him besides his nightstick and I think pepper spray.
Right.
That dog tore him apart, dude. I felt so bad for him.
Do you not have his taser?
Yeah, but tasers aren't always the most effective neither. I mean,
Well,
But-
no, I want.
but you got to remember how
I won't
quick a
go
dog
for
is, though, too. A dog can close distance 10 times faster than a human can. So your reaction time is got to even be quicker. But anyway, he got attacked and got torn up by this dog, and then it showed the American cop. The dog ran at him. He was like, just fucking unloaded a whole clip into the dog before it even got too close to him. But like I said, with that British cop though, you got to remember too, them dogs close the distance fast. Even the guy that had the gun, he didn't have much time to pull it and unload into the dog. Unfortunately, I mean, it's just, dogs are fucking quick. They can be 30 feet away and then be.
Message I sent you about a week ago on that television show.
Who, me?
I sent you a link to a television show, Warrior.
Oh yeah, I looked at it.
Yeah,
I was gonna check it out.
You started at season 1?
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I do have it on my thing.
Oh, okay. Interesting series. It just amazes me the stuff that Netflix is able to get a hold of, and these shows are, not old stuff. It just never was able to get on network TV or HBO, Cinemax, or something else. But they're good entertainment.
Well, one good thing about Netflix is they pick up a lot of shows. They've actually picked up quite a few shows that got canceled and rebooted them.
Yeah.
Like Lucifer, I really liked that show, and they canceled it, and they ended up picking it back up and doing two or three more seasons of it.
Yeah.
See, this is where I want to see AI take the foreign shows, because it seems like Netflix is picking up a lot of foreign movies and foreign TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they could maybe introduce AI somewhere in there to where it could match the face up with the actual words, so you don't feel like you're watching a foreign film.
Right.
I hate when you're watching it and they're just clearly not lined up with it, like the old kung fu movies. That shit annoys me.
That's what I liked about this one I sent you, was that the fact that at different parts of the movie, even though they're speaking Chinese, Cantonese, whatever, they smoothly transform into them speaking in English. And then when somebody who's actually English speaking, then they would transfer their conversation back to Cantonese.
Okay, so yeah, it's back and forth then.
Yeah, but you really don't notice it as much. It's like,
no, as long as you got subtitles turned on. So
they'll put the subtitles in there, and then they'll revert. Then also they'll say another word, and it's in regular English.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check it out then.
That's pretty good.
I usually watch 1 or 2 shows at a time, and then when I finish them, I start on something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not jumping around so much.
Somebody tell Ron to wake up. Scare me. Is he frozen?
I'm not sure. I got a computer, so I'm not sure if he is.
Yeah, he must have been frozen. He bounced out.
Oh yeah, he's definitely frozen.
Yeah. Where did Paul sneak off to?
I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I have one movie I'm excited to see. I can't wait till it comes out, is Civil War. I really want to see that. I want to see their concept take on that.
Well, Dune 2 comes out this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I saw that. When did the first one come out?
Oh man, that's good. When the original movie came out in the 80s, and I've been waiting for them to redo it because the CGI was just trash, and that's because of the time period in the 80s and stuff. Now you look at it, it's like, this is what I want to see back then.
Yeah, and the story.
Yeah,
he messed with the story so much.
Yeah, they mess with it a little bit. I mean, like I said, they draw it out a little bit, just to add to the dramatic effect of the storyline. But I'm hoping that they really put a bow on this part 2, and really,
who did the original Doom? Who was like the producer of it? Because some movies from those time periods were actually really good. It just depended on who was making the film. Like Jurassic Park for its day.
It was directed by David Lynch, and so you got a very Lynchian movie.
Right, because like I said, you had Star Wars for their time period was really good. Jurassic Park for the early 90s was a really insanely good movie as far as CGI and all that.
Well, that's why I was saying that the original movie Doom just didn't have the CGI effects that we were anticipating after seeing the CGI effects in Star Wars.
Right. Yeah, like I
So
said, it depends on who's
to
making
me,
it, how
that's what
much
held
their
that movie
budget
back. It was
is.
a good storyline still, but you know, anything that's sci-fi, CGI is kind of like what brings it around the corner for me.
Like I said, it would have been depending on who worked on it, how much their budget was, all that.
Yeah.
That all comes into play too. Was it a big budget movie back then?
Oh yeah. It
Okay.
was like, was it 2.5 hours done? The original movie?
I don't think it was that long, but it
was
felt
that
like
long?
it.
I think it was over 2 hours though. I mean, it had its moments with the special effects and stuff, but in some areas, you felt they just kind of like, okay, we got to cut the budget back a little bit.
I mean, look at fucking what was it, Titanic? Look how much they spent on that movie. It wasn't like $1 billion at the time their budget was. Should be a couple billion today.
Yep.
Like that movie, they spent that, but that movie made insane amounts of money around the world. Because they actually built a whole half a replica of the damn ship.
It was the ladies' flick.
I don't know. I can go back and watch it and still appreciate it though. It's a good movie.
I've never watched the whole thing.
I've seen the whole movie bunches of times. It's not a bad movie. It's
Wait, which movie?
Titanic.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I think once.
See, I didn't appreciate it when it came out because you know I was in like I think either middle school or it was just going into high school, and Leonardo DiCaprio was all the teenage girls like loved him. So it's like when you were that age, I'm not watching nothing with him in it, you know.
I watched it and of the entire movie, I remember bits of it, but I never really cared about any of the characters except for the musicians on the deck and the old couple that just laid down in bed together as the water came into their cabin. Those are the only two images that I actually remember that I actually felt for the characters.
Well, and then there was two other ones that did the same thing: the captain, and then remember the guy that designed the boat. Remember?
They crawled in bed together.
No. The captain stood at the helm while the ship went underwater, and he went on. And then the one guy that made the boat that told everybody, "Oh, it can sink." He's been in a bunch of movies. I can't think of his damn name, but he was the one that stood at the clock while it was filling with water, and he stood there. And he changed the time on the clock because it was off.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. I just can't think of that dude's name, but he's been in a shit ton of movies.
Yeah, he was he?
I didn't feel
Tywin
sorry
Lannister in Game of Thrones. The captain.
Yeah, but I didn't feel sorry for the captain in Titanic because old maritime law states the captain goes down with the ship.
Was Victor Garber?
Oh, okay. Then no, he reminds me of the guy who played Tywin Lannister.
Yeah, you know who Victor Garber is, right?
Yeah, he was on
He's been
some of the DC universe stuff. He played part of that Firestorm whatever guy on some of the DC.
Yeah, he's been in.
Where it's two people came together to make one superhero.
They call that sex.
Oh, Bill Paxton. He's no longer alive.
Bill Paxton was a loss. He was awesome.
Yeah, he was. I really liked him in. Probably not one of his best movies, but Twister. He was really good in that. Like when he brings his ex-wife over with him.
My favorite movie with him was Aliens.
Oh yeah. I think I know which one. Is the original Alien?
No, the second one.
I can't remember because there's like 50.
He plays one of the Marines in the second one. And he's like, "We need to get out of here."
Oh, in Aliens?
Yeah.
I just knew that when I left, we were talking about Bill Paxton.
Yeah, he played one of the Marines in Aliens.
Oh man!
This sucks.
What did you like him in, Donald?
Everything.
You liked him in
Yeah.
general?
From Weird Science on.
I think.
Oh yeah, Chet.
He played Chet in Weird Science. Yeah.
Yeah, Chet.
Yeah.
You dickwad.
Nice panties. He played such an idiot in that show. It was great.
Oh, Tombstone. That was the one I was thinking of. Too.
Tombstone.
That,
he was great.
That was probably my favorite film with him.
He was one of those actors.
One of the brothers.
Even in movies that weren't that great. Twister was not that great of a movie, but he was wonderful in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tombstone was a really good movie.
They got a new Twister coming out pretty soon.
Yeah,
I know.
Let me throw some film news at you. The 1964 version of Mary Poppins has had its classification raised from universal, open to children, to parental guidance due to strong language being used. It's taken them all this time to do that.
Yeah, because of that one scene where she called the chimney sweep guy a cunt.
But he is. Can't hide from the truth.
I don't remember that. She called him a cunt in that?
No. Jesus
I
Christ. Justin.
I haven't seen that movie in like 20-some years. Probably 30, actually probably 35 years. Last time I saw a movie, I was a little
It's on
kid.
every year at Christmas, isn't it?
No,
yeah, it's not
watch
here.
it,
Not
though.
here.
I haven't
No,
seen
that's
that
the
movie
Grinch.
since I was probably 7 or 8.
Oh, we
No,
got
Probably
we do.
30-some
We get
years.
Sound of Music a lot over here around Christmas, which it's always fun to have a movie about Nazis.
You cunt.
Oh, we always get Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Mary Poppins, and I forgot what the other one is now.
We always had on broadcast TV around Christmas. We always had either Sound of Music or Wizard of Oz.
Well, Bill
That's the
Paxton
one, Wizard
wasn't
of
in
Oz.
True Lies, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and Mary Poppins is on
Was he?
every year.
Oh, yeah. He played the crazy dude that was pretending to be a secret agent. That's right, yeah.
I even
Car
like Bill
salesman.
Paxton was in that Club Dread, which was the same guys who did Super Troopers, and he played a knockoff version of Jimmy Buffett. He was great in that too.
Oh, he was in Two Guns, too. Have you seen Two Guns?
That was Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington.
Yes, that's actually a funny-ass movie. If you haven't
I
seen
have
it,
not seen it.
check it out. It's pretty funny. It's actually a good movie.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off because I gotta make sure I got everything ready. I gotta leave in about an hour and a half.
He was
All right,
amazing.
And I probably won't be back on until tomorrow morning because, like I said, I won't finish with them till about 5 o'clock. And then I'm going straight to dinner.
Yeah, he was in a lot of fucking movies.
Be good, Joe.
Well, if Laura
I'll see y'all sometime tomorrow.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Okay,
Yeah, Bob.
Joe.
Yeah,
Later.
Bill.
He was in Streets of Fire.
Yeah, Bill Paxton is the only person to be killed by a Terminator and an alien.
He was killed by both.
Yeah, he was killed by both a Terminator and an alien.
Thunderbirds, Colony, Ghost of the Abyss, Club Dread.
And did he also get killed by a Predator?
And he was
No.
in Stripes, too.
He was in Stripes?
Yeah, it's on under his
I
film
don't remember
catalog.
that.
I seen a thing about Stripes last night. Do you know John Candy and that was supposed to have died? But he was that funny in it, they decided to keep him in.
Okay, so he played like a no-name role in that. He was Soldier number 8.
Okay.
So that's probably why you didn't realize he was in it. That might have been when he was like not super big yet or something. I don't know. He just was playing. That might have been when he was doing more, extra roles. So yeah, he didn't even have a name in the movie. It was just Soldier 8, number 8.
I always get a kick when I see old movies with people who are like I call A-list stars now, and they were nobodies back then. You're like, oh, I thought that looks familiar. Just like Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie, was it True Lies, where him and the girlfriend on the run from the mob. and he's in there, and I think it's Christopher Walken's in the movie, and a couple other heavyweights.
Yes, Bill Paxton was killed by a predator, an alien, and a Terminator.
Yep.
Because he was in a Predator 2.
Yeah.
And he was on the subway.
Yep.
One unlucky man.
Yep.
Good morning.
The actor you don't hear much from since he hit it big in Titanic is what's the guy's name?
Caprio.
Yeah,
Hey,
Leonardo
you do.
DiCaprio.
He does all kinds of stuff. He's been doing all kinds of movies. He's done a couple of Quentin Tarantino movies in the last couple of years, the last few years.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And he did.
He was great in that.
And the Django Unchained, he played a really
Oh, he was good
role.
in Django Unchained. That's the
and
one
you
where
know
he
what
injured his hand.
yeah, it was all it wasn't scripted. He
stayed in
actually-
character. He actually busted his hand. He busted a glass
And-
open and gashed his hand open, bleeding, and he stayed in character and finished the scene.
And he rubbed it on her face, and she had no idea he was actually going to do that. So her reaction is like legit because he literally
What
rubbed
movie
her
was
face.
this?
The Django Unchained.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. Where he,
No.
He punched the mirror and
yeah,
and sat there.
He kept rolling. They kept rolling.
Yeah.
In Django Unchained, you saw that movie, haven't you, Dre?
Good job. They didn't carry
No,
that
no,
on with
never mind.
Alex Baldwin, isn't it?
Yeah, I got the Apocalypse Now Redux in the other room.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that, Dre? Django Unchained?
Yeah. I watched
Okay,
it.
yeah. So the blood scene where he's in the house and he's telling about his grandfather's slave or whatever, and he's cutting on the skull and stuff. That's when he busts his hand on the table and he rubs the blood all over her face. That was none of that was scripted. That was like Terrence Howard, back when I did those two movies with him in the early 90s. He wasn't really famous then. And then for almost 20 years went by before I watched the videotapes that we had from the movies when I did them. And I realized who it was in the movie with him.
What?
Yeah. Terrence Howard. I did a couple movies with him when I was a kid.
You were in a movie when you were a kid?
You don't remember the clips I've shown from YouTube?
I've never seen this. No.
Oh, hold on. Let me go to YouTube. I'll pull up the clip.
Yeah,
They're
Don,
movies
he
from the
was
early
the
90s.
stunt double in the gay porn.
I mean,
shut up.
I was in a low budget movie as a special effects guy because I laid on the floor and opened up some elevator doors that didn't work.
Yeah, I was in quite a few movies when I was a kid. Let's see. Yeah, the entire.
No, that doesn't surprise me. A lot of cute kids grow up ugly.
Oh, you're funny.
Good,
Yeah,
I never knew that, Justin.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat. The whole movie's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's actually not that bad of a movie. What it is it's about these two. It's about this black couple that breaks down in like this no-name little one horse town, and it's like kind of like a really kind of racist town. And so
you could have garnered fame and fortune from this if you had been a better actor.
Hold on. I'm trying to find.
Did you have a speaking part, or did you just stand there and
No,
stare?
I was just an extra because my dad's garage used to get used by a lot of movie sets.
Oh, okay, just
And
an extra.
so-
Okay, that explains it.
So I used to get a lot of extra jobs.
Well,
all the
Don, you
time
got to
in
realize Justin was just being who he is. You know that real like that part that says "get a rope."
Here we go. I found it. But I'll put the link in the chat if you guys do want to watch it.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not-
there at the garage, and
So
Justin was in the background of the garage. He was back there tying a noose, and they're like, "Go ahead and record that kid."
this is my dad's
Justin
garage.
was
It's
just
one of my dad's
hanging out.
garages.
Yeah.
And then that's that famous Baghdad Cafe I've talked about.
Uh-huh.
The one that the French love.
Yep.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. But here, watch.
Let's see a
Now, is
baby
that out-
Justin.
Is that out on the 40 going to Yerma?
Yeah, off the 40.
Yeah. See, there you go.
What?
They're like stand and deliver.
That was you?
Right
Yep,
there.
That was me. when I was like, I think I was maybe 9 or 10 at the time.
Goofy
Look at
little
those ears.
property you're thinking you.
I might have been lower than, I might have been younger than that. I
Good thing
think I
there
might have
wasn't
been
a breeze
7 or
that
8.
day that had to tie a string
Yeah,
to
they'd
you to
be
keep you
flapping.
down.
And then that was my best friend Willie back there. And then I can't remember who the other 2 kids were that did it with us. It was 2 kids from our school that their parents came and brought them over for the shoot. But yeah, I was in quite a few movies. I was an extra
Spark.
in
1998.
so I would have been 13.
Well, it was
Oh, I
probably
was like
shot
12
in
or 13.
'97, right?
Yeah, we didn't get the copy of the movie till a year later. We
Well, Don,
randomly
we have
got
to watch
some
our
tapes
P's
in the
and
mail.
Q's around Justin. He might get the Screen Actors Guild against us.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Well,
He
what
might.
what I want to know is, Justin, did you pay your dues to the Actors Guild?
Hell no.
Huh?
That was your way in, dude. Your parents just let you down.
Yeah.
But that was before he was really famous, and he was kind of doing some movies with some colleges and universities and stuff, some film schools. And he was just starting to come up. And I didn't realize for like 20 years that he was who I was playing in the 2 different movies with. Because they did an original version of the movie 2 years before that, and then they came back and refilmed it. I cannot find the original one because it was in black and white.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
But they came back a couple years later and reshot it. And like I said, like 20 years later, I was at my dad's house. And I popped the tape in and I was showing a couple of my friends, and we were watching it. And we had the black and white too on videotape. My dad still should have both of those. But I was like, holy shit. One of my friends was like, you realize who that is, right? I said, who? He goes, that's Terrence Howard. I was like, holy shit. Never realized who it was until like 20 years later. That was when he started doing all the big movies and
Dre, does that
TV
make
shows.
sense to you?
What's that?
That Justin didn't follow through?
Well, you know, Justin's
Shut
just
up.
Justin. He's a unique and individual.
There it is. All right. So we're gonna scroll.
My
down
dad's
here.
company also had a big junkyard that was full of hundreds of cars and like buses and all kinds of RVs and stuff that were all crashed. And movie sets or movie companies used to come to him all the time, and then they would hire him to come out and scatter cars out for a movie scene.
Right.
So why don't you add your name to the IMDb page? I think you should do it.
Do that. You can add stuff to that page.
Yeah,
You have to have-
you weren't
but you have to
credited,
have
but you
credits?
you don't have to be credited. You can be uncredited.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think
you
I
have to
was
have-
in the
you have to be a
credits.
credit actor?
You put in boy
With the
boy
ears.
by
Boy with the ears.
boy by car
Yeah.
uncredited. That'd be kind of funny. I
Go in
wonder
there
how
and
you
add
can
it
add
for me.
yourself.
Crew,
As I said, you figure it out. Go in there and add it for me, Donald.
Crew cut big ears.
Yeah, but yeah, they used to hire.
Oh, you'd have to
hire my
build your
dad's garage all the
profile.
time.
You'd have to set up a profile.
Got to do a profile.
Because my dad used to make bank off of those movie productions. They would come out and because there was a lot of under budget films, like whatnot. You know, they weren't big. A lot of film schools and stuff would come out there, and they would pay him to shut his whole business down for up to a week. And they would go by what his average daily earning was for the business, and they would pay him that. And he got it all the time. They came out there and did that. His garage would be shut down for a week or so. And then, but they had another garage in the back property that was way
Keep
behind
working
the
at it.
garage, and it had a 3-car port thing on it that opened, and they would just start taking stuff back there and working on it. And then they would use the main building. But yeah, and then there was, like I said, my dad had a junkyard just full of cars just for movie scenes.
Justin, what the hell happened? You were right there on the cusp. If you knew what you kn- if you knew then what you know now,
Maybe I would have pursued it.
you should have been up there with.
But I
Terrence
never got
Howard.
any like push from anybody in my family to do anything either.
Man, you could have been up there you're schmoozing with Terrence Howard before he hit huge. I mean, he had some acting credits under his belt, but he was still.
But then I wouldn't be here talking to you fine gentlemen this morning.
I know, it'd be a win-win. I'm just saying.
Said I never really had anybody push me neither to like get into acting when I was that age. It was just I was always getting extra parts because of my dad. So because
So
they
how
would
many
need a
movies
kid.
were you in? You said several?
Probably 10 or 12 altogether.
Wow.
And I was
Never had a speaking role though. It was always as an extra.
yeah, just always an extra. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I never had any speaking roles.
Yeah, Jonathan, that's how it is. You're either a goofy looking kid and you grow up looking good, or you're a good looking kid and you grow up looking goofy.
But my
You filled out your ears nicely, Justin.
I don't remember what the other movies are called. The only reason I remember that one so much was because of the whole Terrence Howard thing. My dad's got a whole frickin' well, he did. He had a whole cupboard that was full of all the different movies they filmed. I don't remember what the other names of them are. I said most of them are caught film schools and stuff that would come out. You know, they get $100,000 budget from from a school or something. And they would come out and shoot a quick 1 hour
Mhm.
movie, hour and a
Yeah.
half long movie. They'd be out there
Yep,
for
a
about
run
week
and
or
gun.
two.
Yep.
Yeah, they'd be out there anywhere between a week or two, depending. I'm sure if I went through if I could get my hands on the other movies, I went through them, I wouldn't be surprised if there was other famous people in them. It's just we happened to be at my mom's that day, and she had a copy of the movie too, and we sat down and watched it. And that's when one of my friends
Yep.
pointed
It's
it out.
probably because of the proximity to that cafe.
Well, they would get a lot of movie shoots as well,
Mhm.
and they would use my
That's why I'm
dad's
wondering
garage
if
a lot.
that's why I'm wondering if it was because of the proximity of that cafe. They're like, okay, we're scouting here. We got this cafe. Hey, there's we can do the other thing over there.
I mean, there was some times where they would do movies that had nothing to do with the cafe, and then it would be, or it'd be vice versa. They'd just do movies with the cafe, and then there were some that they did them on both the properties. But yeah, the cafe got a lot of attention. There's actually a movie called The Baghdad Cafe, and it was
Yeah.
made back in like 91 or 92.
Yeah.
I think.
Hmm.
My grandpa was an extra in that movie too. He gets up and walks out of the when the main characters walk into the restaurant, he gets up out of the booth and walks out.
87.
Yeah, and for some reason, to me, dude, that is one of the most boringest and dumbest movies I've ever watched because I've sat and watched the whole thing. But for some reason in France, it blew the fuck up. And people in France love that movie to this day. And they will go out of their way to come all the way to the United States just to go to this cafe. And it's really run down over the years. Like the owner that took it over in the late 90s, she just kind of ran it into the ground. It was really nice back in the 80s and 90s because my grandma was actually the manager there and her best friend owned the restaurant. And they ran it really well. It was good upkeep. It was very clean. I wouldn't recommend anybody eat there now, to be honest with you. Everything that people from back home have told me about that place now, it's just a bunch of crackheads working up in there and everything. Yeah, I wouldn't eat there. They make more money off of souvenirs than they do food. Because they get busloads of French tourists coming through and they get off and they have this whole big area in the restaurant, something but souvenir shit. They come in there and just buy all kinds of souvenirs. They don't even stop and eat. They get off the bus for about 20, 30 minutes. They go in there and they'll buy up a bunch of souvenirs, take a shitload of pictures, and they're back on the bus leaving. And the next thing you know, a couple hours later, he'll come another bus full of them. I'm surprised that place even made it through COVID, to be honest with you. Because I bet they took a big hit on income. That, especially being in California. But yeah, when the new owner Andrea bought it, was her name Andrea. She kind of ran it into the ground. I don't know if she still owns it or not, but I was watching a guy's video the other day on YouTube who went by there, was doing a video on the desert towns. That was one of his stops. And somebody in the comments mentioned, "Oh, I used to work there back in the early 2000s when right after Andrea bought it," and I asked them if she sold it, and they never answered me back. So I don't know if she still owns it or not.
So it was a newer video.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't Huell Hauser. I know Huell Hauser did a lot of California road trip, like documentary type stuff on public access in California.
No, this was a younger guy that just did the video about 2-3 months ago. It's a young guy that goes around all the desert towns and does a bunch of history and finds all.
That's what Huell Hauser would do. But this is before internet, so.
This guy's probably a little younger than me. He's probably mid-30s.
This isn't. You're not talking about. Well, let's see. There's a couple guys that I watch. There's the Daily Woo.
I watch him. I know who you're talking about.
Then there's Carpetbagger, but he wouldn't be the one you're talking about. He does mainly theme parks and stuff.
Yeah, that one doesn't sound. I know who the Daily Woo is, though. He goes all over the place. He'll be in Florida or he'll be in New York. He goes everywhere. This guy that I'm watching, he's mainly stays in the Southwest. I haven't seen too many videos of him actually too far out of there. He mainly stays in the desert area. Does a lot of history on the desert.
Here we go. Huell Hauser visits the Baghdad Cafe.
But there's a lot of old gas stations out there too that have kind of, off Route 66, and so a lot of movies would come out there and do shoots with those too. Because there's a couple people out there that own old gas stations, and they're all fixed up and maintained, but they're not actually a gas station anymore.
Here's a video of Huell Hauser. He should not have been on TV. He was on public access, and it was he was horrible. And it's one of those things that you just have to kind of watch, and you start watching him just because he's so bad.
I'll check it out.
He's great.
But yeah, there's a couple gas stations in that town. Back when I was a kid, I don't know if they still do, but they maintained them for years and made them look like a running gas station. But then movies would come in all the time wanting to do shoots in there. It was actually a pretty busy, like the half-mile street that was all on was actually pretty busy with film crews quite all the time. It was kind of a normal thing to see. And then a company when I was out there last time, right before my dad sold his company, they hired his company to tow a bunch of vehicles out to Lake Dolores, the abandoned water park out there. There's tons of videos on that. But they had to bring out a whole bunch of cars, and we had to flip them over and place them in all these different areas because they were shooting some kind of apocalyptic movie. They hired my dad's company to haul like 20 or 30 cars out there. Yeah, it was so normal to see film crews out where I lived. It was like it wasn't awe to the people that lived there, because we've seen them so regularly. It's kind of a normal thing. Some movies would be big, some you would never hear about. Like they did shoot, I think, part of Hulk out there near my dad's house. The original one from 2003, I think. Or not the original one, but the one from 2003. One I can't stand. I hate that movie.
Why?
It was boring. That's probably the worst Hulk movie ever. Like 2.5 hours of flashbacks and like 20 minutes of action in the whole movie.
You're talking about the Ang Lee one, right?
Yes. The one from 2003.
Yeah.
I hated that
It,
one.
it was
It
an
wasn't-
interesting take on the Hulk.
I mean, I guess it kind of
And,
was, but
I actually, if you look at the, if I look at the editing, Ang Lee, what we were talking about earlier, using multiple frames, and I don't know if you were on for that, but
no.
he would use multiple frames in the overall screen. He would use different boxes with different video to compress time and make it feel more like a comic book.
Uh-huh.
It was an interesting edit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
You need to
out of
rewatch
all-
it and give it another chance.
Yeah, because I haven't seen. I just remember that when I was
He
in
was
the
too green.
drive-through.
He was fluorescent green. I didn't like that.
Well, I remember, and I'll remember this distinctly, when I was in the drive-through. Not drive-through. When we went to the drive-in to watch it, that was the first movie that was on, and there was a lot of pissed off people halfway through that movie. A lot of people didn't like it. We ended up leaving in the middle of the movie and going over to the other screen and watching the rest of the movie that was over there because it just was that boring. And then I went back a few years later and watched it again. I still didn't like it. I actually watched the whole thing. That was the one good thing about our drive-in we had in Barstow. There was 2 screens, and you could go in there and pay for 2 movies, and you were allowed to switch screens. So if you wanted to watch the first movie on the first screen, once it was over, you could hop over to the second screen and watch the second movie. Because they would always do the intermissions. They would always time the movies in a way that both intermissions, no matter the length of the movie, the intermissions would be at the same time. And you'd see people moving their cars back and forth. Because they'd give you about 15 minutes or so. And people would move their cars to the other screens. I used to get free tickets there all the time too back in the day. Guy that owned it was the same guy that owned the Nampa franchises in Barstow. And my dad was real good friends with him, had a contract with him, so he used to give us free tickets all the time to go.
Is it just you and me now, Justin? Has everybody else gone away?
Everybody's gone away. Yep, I think we can.
I'm still here.
David's still with us.
Rob? Dre's muted, so he must be on the phone or something.
Yeah, I'm listening, but I've
Yeah.
got a lot of noise in my office.
Rob,
Justin,
what's up?
I don't want to masturbate your ego, but Laura's
Oh,
stream was
Jesus.
boring as fuck last night.
Hold
Without
on,
you there.
What?
Laura's stream last night.
What about it?
It wasn't as fun last night.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, the thing of it is, this is not to criticize Laura, but why is she doing house cleaning on a gamer thing while she's trying to do a live stream?
What are you talking about doing?
She's playing the
got
house
house
the house
flipper
game to
Oh,
house
she-
flipper.
I'll tell
She's
you
gotten-
why. Because she cleans up in virtual live because it gives her a sense of being able to clean up in real life, which she doesn't do.
Oh, I see you're going live at 12:30 my time, David.
Yeah, and 40 minutes.
Well, I think it's winding down, so I'm gonna go take puppies outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna
see you
jump
guys
off,
later.
too.
And David's
Right.
going to be on in about 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all later.
I got a
Everybody-
meeting in about 40 minutes.
Take care.
Justin, check your messages.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.